play, who don't play, 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 who don't play, 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 who don't. Long time coming, black on the bottom of my feet from running, cataracts under my eyes from hustling, going from buying to selling to customers, run up the business, God is my witness, sun up to sun up from Monday to Sunday, we maxing our limits, my mind running like Tom Cruise on an action movie, moving a mission, they say that I'm tripping, I've been told I need a vacation, I'm finessing a visit.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers and welcome to Stat Diggers for UFC 323. We have Merab Dvalishvili going against Petr Yan 2, and I'm looking forward to this card. Really looking forward to it. We have a really good card. I like it. I love the prelims, especially some of these matchups. You know, Terrence McKinney, Chris Duncan, Grant Dawson, Manuel Torres, Faraz Ziam, Nazim Satakov, Marvin Vettori, Bruno Ferrer, Jalen Turner, Edson Barbosa. I mean, just absolute stacked prelims. And then the main card's good as well. You know, Jan Blahovich, Bogdan Guskov, I'm looking forward to. Looking forward to the co-main event, Alexander Pantoia, Josh Van. I'm looking forward to pretty much everything kind of outside the main event, which is crazy. Like, the main event is probably the fight I'm least looking forward to. So weird, but it's just how it's playing out. But yeah, love this card. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to breaking it down. We are here after a week off on a Monday. I'm with Weezy. What is up, Weezy? Are you looking forward to UFC 323?
Very much so, yeah. We got a couple of really high-level fights here with Dvalishvili and Yan and Pantoja and Van. You know, the Moreno versus Tyra flyweight fight could potentially be like who's next for the title shot, especially if that Royval Kopp fight winds up getting called off because Kopp pulls out, or it winds up being a stinker because, well, Manel Kopp is involved in it. So, you know, I think that there's some, you know, fights where there's a lot at stake here. And then we got, what I've noticed with this card is there's a lot of big age differences here. You know, where you look at Josh Van and Pantoja, you know, you got Tyra and Moreno. You got Henry Cejudo going up against Peyton Talbot. Bogdan Guskov is like 10 years younger than Jan Blahovich. There's some really interesting kind of like potential passing of the torch matchups as well here. So I think the matchmakers did a phenomenal job on this one. It's a pay-per-view card. It's stacked from top to bottom. There's some interesting debutantes, some great veterans, a lot of interesting stylistic matchups to break down today, Brady. So I'm looking forward to doing exactly that.
Yep, me as well. Before we get into, if you guys could do us a huge favor, be sure to like the video. If you guys are watching either now live or on the replay, be sure to get the likes up, subscribe to the channel as well. It's always much appreciated. If you guys are watching on X, don't be afraid to hit the retweet. Don't be afraid to hit the retweet. I see Nathan Robinson on X. Don't be afraid to hit the retweet. You know, it helps out. And yeah, feels good to be back after a week off. I didn't do a poll for who needs to get help. So I'll be honest. I missed like half the card of UFC Qatar. Was it Qatar?
Qatar.
Yeah, I missed
Qatar.
Yeah, I missed like half the card. I watched pretty much all the prelims, and then I took a big nap because I woke up at like 7 o'clock. The fights are early, so I missed a lot of the fights. But I'll do a poll to see who does need to get help, because I believe there were some people that needed to get help. So help me out in the chat. Who needs to get help from UFC Qatar? I know for sure Jack Hermanson is one, right?
So Jack Hermanson definitely needs help. He got brutally knocked out again. What's his name? You know, Merrick Bulow and Denzel Freeman. From what I heard, I was sleeping. You know, I did not see that fight.
They were sleeping too.
Yeah, I think everybody was sleeping when that one was going on.
Ooh, Ryan Loader.
Yeah, definitely Loader. And Uncle Weezy had a bet on him, of course, because like I have to make one bet every week. That's an embarrassing bet. You know, it can't just, you know, like be close, nothing. It has to be like just an absolute shit kicking. And I bet on Ryan Loader, and you know, you're kind of saying, I remember watching that fight, Brady, and I was saying, you know, it's kind of good that Loaders looks comfortable on the feet here, because the longer he can do this, the better it'll be when he shoots, you know, but he's going to shoot. But just give it time. He'll shoot. Oh boy, he's not going to shoot. You know, he's just, you know, dead on the canvas, and you're like, God damn it. You know, it's, well, what can you do? You know, that's the game we're playing. You know, sometimes you get caught, and I didn't think that would happen. I didn't think he got knocked out by a blown up welterweight with 0 UFC knockdowns, but hey, Ryan Loder definitely needs some help.
I put Tagir in there as well. He needs to move up a weight class.
Yeah, he got shaved out there. He got completely shaved by Kyoji. And Shamil Gaziev had a rough night too.
Shamil.
Dude, that dude.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
That dude fought somebody who was like eating burgers and then had to take a fucking 20-hour flight across the world and cut 12 pounds. And he just got knocked out cold in a minute. So rough night for our guy, Shamil Gaziev.
Yeah, Lonzo Menafield could be up there. Freeman up there.
Yeah,
I got a lot of options. So, all right, guys, go ahead and vote. We got Jack Hermanson, Ryan Loder, Denzel Freeman, Tagir, Ulan Bekov, and Bujlo. We know he needs help. He actually got cut.
Yeah, already.
That's what they need to do. If you're going to show up and not fight, I mean, this guy is a BJJ guy. Like he's a BJJ guy. He's not a striker. He's a BJJ guy, and he didn't use his BJJ for 15 minutes. It was the most, I don't know, like he threw kicks for 15 minutes. I didn't understand it. So, yeah, Bujlo needs help, but that's a given. He already got cut. So we'll do a quick recap of Qatar, and it's funny. Sometimes some losses hurt more than others, and I had a losing night, a small losing night, but it felt like a massive win just with how the night started. I barely had any action on the card. My goal was to keep it very light for Qatar. These Middle Eastern cards, they've done me wrong all year. I'm going to keep it light for Qatar, and I'm going to go all out for UFC 323. So I barely have any action, really picked my spots, and my day just starts off horribly. I get up early. I wait 3 hours until the fight starts. I'm exhausted. I'm in a bad mood already. I'm tired. And then I have to sit through 15 minutes of Denzel Freeman versus Marek Bujlo. I have the under 1.5 rounds. You add up Bujlo's entire career, you don't get anywhere near 7.5 minutes. I have Denzel Freeman to win in rounds 1 or rounds 2 at plus money. And yeah, Freeman was like one of my most confident picks on the board. I thought he would go out there and destroy Bujlo. I mean, this guy has beaten better fighters than Bujlo. But no, it didn't play out how I expected. Bujlo did not even try to get the fight down to the ground. He just kind of threw kicks, and Denzel Freeman was content to just stand on the outside and just do a little bit more. And it was very frustrating because I have the under bet and Freeman rounds 1, rounds 2, and Freeman's in the second round, he just starts making like grunting noises. He's like, oh, yeah. Like, what are you doing, you dumbass? How about you let your hands go? Why are you grunting? Why are you making these noises? He was like, oh, like, what are you doing? What are you doing, Denzel Freeman? So I was already in a horrible mood, and that pretty much ruined my entire night, the first fight of the night. And then I had a trash bet on Ryan Loder, and the announcers are talking about how he went to Thailand and how he's going to test out his striking. What the hell do you mean, Ryan Loder? What the hell do you mean you're going to test out your striking? You are a wrestler. You have a good ground and pound. You have a good submission game. Why on God's green earth are you going to test out your striking against a striker in Ismail Nardiev? And once I heard that the game plan was to test his striking, he's been working in Thailand, I knew it was going to end very poorly, and it did end very, very poorly. I had a bet on Bekset Almakhan at plus money, and he was looking really good early, but the pressure of Topuria just kind of got to him. He won the first round and dropped the next 2. That wasn't a horrible bet. Didn't love it, but it was a little bit better than the Ryan Loder bet. So I'm down like 5 units at this point. I'm like, what the hell's going on? I barely had any action on this card, and I'm getting my ass shaved. But then it starts getting pretty good here. So I had Abdul Rahman Yakayev to win in under a half round at like plus 240 for half unit. That was my first hit of the night. I also had Yakayev KO1, which if that hit, it would have been a winning night, pretty good winning night. That didn't hit because he head kicked Cerquera, almost knocked him out, and then club and subbed him. So that hurt, but yeah, got a little bit of win there. And then I had, what did I have next? Oh, I had the fight doesn't go to decision in the Ossie Almabayev Perez fight. That wasn't looking great. And then Perez got submitted in very Perez fashion. I think it was like the 6th or 7th submission loss for Perez. Got the fight doesn't go at like plus 175. That was a pretty big hit. And then what really helped out was my titty back Oral Boy. I had him by knockout at like plus 275. I actually got like really badly reverse CLV'd. I got the KO prop at plus 275. I'm like, wow, this is plus 275 Oral Boy by knockout against Jack Hermanson. And it closed at like plus 360. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Really? So I got reverse CLV'd, but Oral Boy came through with a devastating knockout. So I was really happy with how the event played out, because it was looking like it was the worst night of the year, but ended down like a unit. So Weezy, how was UFC Qatar for you?
I finished up 1.69 units, and like you, Brady, I just wanted to keep it small. Every time we go to Abu Dhabi or Saudi Arabia or anywhere in that part of the world, I get served, just violently served. And it feels like some of the things that go on too are kind of shady as well. It's not just that I'm making horrible ass bets, which I usually will make one on every card, but this was just one where I was a little bit gun shy, and it was actually kind of a shame because I had a lot of good reads on the card. I think I was 10-4 on my fight picks, and there were a lot of spots that were plus money that I was thinking about playing, but I just didn't get there because of I'm a little bit gun shy, frankly. I went on a long losing streak there for a while, and just seemed to be picking out every fucking shady spot that happened on every card. I was involved in it and on the wrong side of it. So I'm still trying to kind of like regain my confidence. And I had 2 losing bets and 2 winning bets. My 2 losing bets were both on Ryan Loder. I had 1 unit on his money line at plus 122. I had 1 unit on his finish only prop at plus 140, because he's been a guy that's actually been very durable. Outside of that Bakoyev fight, this guy's got an iron chin. And even in the Bakoyev fight, like, he got dropped a couple times, but it wound up being a standing KO because he's really hard to get out of there. And then I felt like, Nardiev just didn't have a lot of finish upside. The guy's really not a true middleweight. He had 0 knockdowns over something like 6 or 8 UFC fights. So when he got 1 punch KO'd, it was just one of those things where I was like, yep, we're in Qatar, all right. We're in fucking Qatar, aren't we? And that was where, I got served the most. But we were DMing each other on Discord, Brady, and you said something to the effect of, I can't believe they opened up Denzel Freeman at plus money. And I just went, holy shit. And I just immediately stopped chatting with you and went to bet online. And I saw that he was minus 140. I threw 3 units down on it. Didn't even think about it. Probably should have went 5 because I had already pretty much finished my write-up, and I was basically saying that Freeman was going to be good anywhere up to minus 250, minus 300, because Bulow had fought nobodies, and Freeman had all those unanswered questions that we had about Bulow. Those questions were all answered on the Denzel Freeman side. And the one thing I did say was, both of these guys are grapplers, and because of that, you have to favor the guy that's the better striker and the better wrestler. And there's no question that Freeman was both of those things. So even though it was wind up being a really shitty fight, the bookies made a massive mistake opening Bulow as a favorite somehow. And I wound up taking advantage of that. I had a 3-unit bet on Denzel Freeman at minus 140. I also had a 1-unit bet on the Almacan Topuria fight to go to decision, which I got at plus 155. And I was just like, how the fuck am I getting, they're telling me this fight finishes inside the distance 61% of the time. Like, that didn't make sense to me. I felt like that was a fight that was going to go to decision more than 50% of the time. So only 4 bets. Both my Loder bets didn't cash. And then my Freeman money line bet and my Topuria Almacan fight goes bet cashed, up 1.69 units on a 6-unit outlay. So like a 28% return on investment. Solid enough week, 2 weeks in a row, winners, just trying to make it 3 this week, Brady.
Yep. I mean, profiting on that card and any Middle East card, it's hard to do. I know. There was that one card this year. I forget where it was. It was just horrible. Just everything went wrong. I think like a month and a half ago. It's just bad. So, yeah. But yeah, I was happy with how the week played out, all things considered, starting pretty bad and just ending with some good bets there, getting some momentum going to the off week. All right. So let's do a recap of the Stat Diggers parlay. and I don't know what we had. I'm assuming we had
Freeman. I think we had Freeman in there.
I think Freeman and Oralby, right?
That sounds about right, but Brady, I got to start writing that down.
Yeah.
Because we don't make a banner for that.
I know we don't make a banner.
And then that way you can't look the next week and be like, oh, here's what the parlay was, and I know we would have had Denzel Freeman in there though, because I remember that, we were both pretty perplexed that they opened up that he wasn't like a minus 300 favorite against this guy.
Yeah, I want to say it was my titty back and Freeman.
It could have been. That would have hit.
Yep. So I'm pretty sure we got it. Like, I don't know what else it would have been, to be honest. So let's go to the piping of the week, because it was the piping as well. My titty back, Oralby to pipe, poor Jack Hermanson on site. Yeah, I mean, Jack Hermanson just doesn't chin and cut down a weight class, came back way too early. And yeah, poor Jack Hermanson, man. Sad.
Yeah. Attacking weaknesses is one of the great betting angles, because however a fighter wins fights is always a bigger sample size rather than how somebody loses fights. But when you've got like multiple losses and they're all the same way, I'm telling you, there's definitely correlation between those things happening again. And like two of the best spots last week, Brady. The guy that subbed Perez, Almabayev, I wanted to call him Almakhan. It's Almabayev by sub because Alex Perez loves getting subbed, and Oralby by KO because Hermanson loves getting KO'd. If you were on those two spots, you got like plus 285 for the KO. You got like plus 400 for the sub. You profited bigly.
Yeah, I should have bet the sub. I don't know why I didn't. I actually predicted it. Almabayev, 3rd round sub. Predicted it, but I bet the fight doesn't go instead of the sub though, which is still good plus money. But you would like to get the big sub prop. So yeah, Brown Belt DL confirmed that it was my titty back Oralby, which was mine, and then Denzel Freeman, which was yours. So the parlay hit, the piping hit. Can we go 3 for 3?
Can we?
The milk of the week is Arman Sarukian to milk Dan Hooker.
And did he ever?
I didn't watch the fight, but I saw the result. 2nd round sub, right?
Yeah, he ran through him, dude. He absolutely ran through him.
Good. Which was expected. He's like minus 600, I think. So yeah, I didn't have any action on the fight. I didn't watch. I was sleeping. But yeah, good. The milking hit, piping hit, parlay hit. 3 for 3. Let's do it again.
Let's go. It's a great card to do it. We got 14 fights to break down, Brady. But there's a lot of quality fighters, a lot of big sample sizes. The data will be a pretty solid guide on a lot of these fights this week. So I'm fired up to break it down with yous and with our chat.
Yep. Let's see who needs to get some help. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Kind of surprising results. I was thinking it might be somebody else, but no. So who needs to get some help? In 4th place, Denzel Freeman, 16%. In 3rd place, believe it or not, Ryan Loader, 24%. In 2nd place, again, believe it or not, Jack Hermanson, 28%. And the person that needs to get help is none other than Tagir Ulanbekov.
Wow.
I was expecting it to be like Hermanson for sure. But the chat voted, and that's what they went with, Tagir, which I agree. I mean, I do think he needs to get some help, but was not expecting that.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. It was one of the fights that I just didn't really spend a lot of time breaking down because there was just too much tape to watch on Horiguchi. He's been around for so long. The worst thing that you can do when you haven't seen a fighter fight in a while, but they've got a ton of tape, the worst disservice you can do is like only watching 2 of their fights because you're only getting a small part of the picture and you might really get the wrong understanding of what that fighter really is. So that was one I was just like, man, I don't want to bet against Ulanbekov. I don't want to bet on an old flyweight like Horiguchi coming back to the UFC. I was fine staying away from it.
Yep, I stayed far away from it as well. But let's hit up the chat. What is up, guys? Hope you guys are enjoying your Monday. We got football going on. I think it's the Patriots versus the Giants. Who cares? I mean, who cares anymore?
Who cares?
I'm so done with it, man. Lamar Jackson, what are you doing? What are you doing, Lamar Jackson? This guy can't get 10 fantasy points the last 3 weeks. He has 1 passing touchdown the last month. Lamar Jackson gets it. If anybody needs help, it's Lamar Jackson. What are you doing? What are you doing? And then Jamar Chase. No, Justin Jefferson. Jamar Chase is fine. Justin Jefferson gets some help, but it's not his fault. It's the quarterback playing on the Vikings just horrible. Just bad, man. It's bad. So I'm done with fantasy football. These boys are just getting later and later. What do you mean?
What boys?
Yeah, I don't see any boys around here.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell is going on there. Later and later. How dare you?
Yeah, unbelievable. We got Dixon Sider. Welcome back, Brady and Prophet Wiziah. Just when everyone in the MMA community was starting to forget about us, like a good case of herpes. Oh my gosh, we're back with a vengeance and stronger than ever. There we go. Gotta love herpes. We got Paku with the oil. What is up, Paku? Brandon saying, I think the real question is what's next for number 13. Is he still in the rankings?
Let me look. I just had the rankings up. Let me look here. Welterweight. Holy shit. Number 13, Colby Covington. One step. Dude.
Holy crap.
Jeff Neal is number 14. I don't remember the last time Jeff won a fight.
But do you know what Jeff Neal would do to Colby?
It'd be bad.
It'd be very bad.
It'd be so bad, dude. Jeff Neal would absolutely destroy Colby.
I don't think
Colby couldn't take down Leon Edwards.
Oh,
you remember that?
Yeah.
4 rounds and he couldn't take down an Englishman.
Oh god.
Dude, he's done for. Number 13, my fucking ass. Gilbert Burns is number 12. So yeah, they're just waiting to cycle out the rest of the trash in the welterweight division. I mean, Daniel Rodriguez has got a number next to his name.
Oh, my God.
And that's not the California Prison League. It's the UFC that has him ranked. So
that's Holland's fault. That's Holland's fault.
I know. God damn it, Kevin Holland.
That was bad. I still have nightmares about that one. But yeah, Colby has Colby won a fight since like COVID? Like I feel like he hasn't won a fight since like 2020. It's just so.
It was the Masvidal fight, right? He
put a
clinic on Masvidal. I remember, and that was the last time. I think
it was like 3-4 years ago at this point. That's crazy. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Hearing rumors, Brady starts off today's show singing, "I'm not always there when you call, but I'm always on time." We are always on time. Don't gotta sing it. It's just the truth. We got T-Carbs. Missed you guys. Let's have a week. Steaks on Mansour this week. And I believe that is that a picture of Mansour Abdul Malik in a boat captain's outfit eating steak?
It really is. You know that you're a Stat Diggers fan. If you're posting a picture like that, I mean, there's no way that you're not a Stat Diggers fan. So shout out T-Carbs, who I believe a couple of weeks ago had Sergey Spivak in vampire clothing as his logo. And yeah, I mean, like, dude, you know, Mansour and Cody Brundage were at the finest steakhouse in the city that they fought in. They were getting wine pairings with every meal. You know, they weren't just bringing out the steak. They were like, I want some fucking au poivre sauce and I want that steak with blue cheese on it. You know, they were doing, yeah, man. I mean, like there were drinks. The drinks were flowing. You know, they did very well. They did very, very well.
That's a good idea. The strippers actually bring out the steaks. Is that a thing?
Is there a steakhouse that does that?
There will be this week. A couple weeks off coming up. I know what I'm doing. I'm going to open up a strip club steakhouse. Strippers bring out the steaks. That is a great fucking
idea, dude. I hope that we're not live right now because
that's a great idea.
We might have just given out one of the best ideas that, like the Shark Tank be damned. You know, the real ideas are flowing right here on Monday Night Stat Diggers, Brady.
That's beautiful.
It is.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know what I'm doing the next 6 weeks for sure.
Yeah.
We got Jerk in the building. What is up? Late? No, we are never late. Absolutely not. What am I going to do for the next 6 weeks? I know what I'm doing now. Opening up a strip club steakhouse. Heck yeah. We got the only Godfather in the building. Number one, do it in the space. Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen. Appreciate that. We got MMA Tard. The Tard's just about done his weed shop and going to tune the heck in. What's good, Brady and Wheezy? The other gang members in the chat, what is up, MMA Tard? Good to see you in here. We got Colby Sow in the building. What is up? Time to make these bookies our pitch. Okay.
Oh,
there we go. We got Nathan Robinson in the building. 1 minute in, and Wheezy's already talking crap about Manel Cobb. Stat Diggers is so back. Yes. Yes.
Tune in next week because I'm going to just go off on this guy. I can't stand Manel Kopp.
Yeah, he's hit or miss, right? Like sometimes he'll show up, sometimes he won't. Sometimes he won't even show up to the fight. Got to pay for them HIV meds, effective but not cheap.
Sure.
Okay. Ryan Loder, I agreed. Ryan Loder needs some help. Hamdi Abdelwahab absolutely needs some help. I believe he got cut. I believe him and Chris Barnett got cut, unfortunately.
Yeah. Chris Barnett didn't deserve it, but Hamdi sure as hell did.
Bro won a fight from making autistic noises for 15 minutes. Yeah, it wasn't funny because I had an under in the fight and I needed them to fight. But had I not had money on it, it would have been pretty funny listening to Denzel Freeman make noises for 15 minutes. It was pretty funny. Alonzo Menafield. Yeah, Alonzo Menafield got his ass shaved too. Jeez. Herzog hasn't reffed since the Bulgarian debacle, and that is true. But there are, I don't think it's a rumor. I think it's confirmed on the Errol Hawani show that Herzog will actually be making a return this card. UFC 323. Herzog is coming back. And my hot take, my very hot take is Herzog will be reffing the Mansur Abdul Malik fight. That's my hot take. Herzog will be reffing the Mansur Abdul Malik fight. That's all I'm gonna say. Kind of upset he's back, man. I wish he would wait just one more week. You know, not this card. Please, not this card, Herzog. Shamil decided to go in there and have a dick measuring contest with a big Cuban. Yeah, I wish the Spivak fight was still on because I was looking at maybe taking like the under 1.5. I think that would have hit with the way he kind of came out there swinging dicks. We got Cole Stein, Stat Dig Monday. Pay-per-view week. Let's go. I appreciate you, Brady Weezy. What is up, Cole Stein? We appreciate you. Fluffy needs the most help. Flew all the way to Qatar, no weed, just to watch his boy get slumped. Who just Fluffy flew out?
Yeah, Fluffy's trains with Ryan Loder. Dude, Ryan Loder is the guy who taught fucking Fluffy how to wrestle. Think about that. God. That's how good of a wrestler Ryan Loder is.
Oh my goodness.
4-time Division I All-America. Maybe only 3-time, but I thought it was 4-time. In Northern Iowa. So, I mean, like, the guy's a stud. He's a wrestling legend, and he shot 0 takedowns, and Fluffy went out there with him. Yeah.
Yeah, what a dumbass. Ryan Loder. Brady gets Macy Barber fight week. Maybe. We'll see if she makes it to the cage this time. We got Haymaker. What is up? What is up? 6 weeks off. 6 weeks off. Alonzo Menafield could probably use a hand. He could probably use something, man. I mean, isn't Alonzo like 39 years old now?
Yeah. I mean, I think he just turned 39. Yeah.
Oh God. Last card of the year for me, going on to vacay next week, which means card must be watched naked. I will not be watching the card naked because I will be in attendance. And if I was watching it naked in attendance, I would be arrested. And I don't want to be arrested.
No. Who needs that?
No, absolutely not. Gucci Mane. Okay, I'm not a big fan of Gucci Mane, but we all have our favorite artist. Colby's last win was in 1776. We got Daniel Forrest. Shout out to the hardcores watching Brady and Uncle Weezy instead of Monday Night Football between a 10-2 team and a 2-10 team. Is this the worst matchup in Monday Night Football history? It's up there. It certainly could be up there. Brady's beef curtains. There we go. I like it.
Yeah, that'd be the name of the steakhouse.
I like it.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
There's a strip club steakhouse in Portland. Restaurant side and strip club side. Well, we're gonna combine them both though. There's not gonna be a restaurant side and a strip club side. It's gonna be all one side. All one side. The strippers are gonna make the steaks, prepare them, bring them out, and then they're gonna do their thing while you eat and after you eat. Before, after, and during.
Let's go.
Let's do it. We got Isaac Dalgarian in the building. Good to see you, Isaac. Hopefully you're doing well. Herzog staying in the low. He'll be back according to my connections. He will be back this weekend, unfortunately. And we got D Spearman. What is up? And then we got the unit. All right, guys, we got a lot to get into. We are about 30 minutes in. I say we kick it off with the first fight of the card, and it is going to be none other than Muhammad Naimov going against Marian Santos. We got Naimov, 31 years old, 5'9" with a 70-inch reach. Santos, 25 years old, 5'9" with a 72-inch reach. We got Santos, 6 years younger, same height, and Santos with a 2-inch reach advantage. So yeah, this is a fight that I'm probably going to stay away from just because of the line. Like Santos, I feel like he's the guy with more upside. Like he's 6 years younger. I do think he's making improvements. He's, working with some good guys. I think the upside's there, but I kind of feel like Naimov could potentially make this close and with potentially wrestling, but I've never been high on Naimov. I don't think he has the best minute winning with the striking. He's getting outstruck in a lot of these fights. I don't think he has the best cardio. I think he's a really big cheater. Like in terms of cheating in the UFC, Naimov's probably pound for pound, maybe number 2 behind Priscilla Cachoeira in terms of cheating. And, Naimov will grab the gloves. He'll grab the cage. He'll grab your dick. I mean, this guy's grabbing shorts. I mean, Muhammad Naimov is just a big cheater. So I like Santos to win, but it's like minus 255, like minus 275 on some books. It's like, how can you really get there? I can't. So the pick Santos for me, I just don't really think there's really any value at all on the Santos side for me. So gonna probably sit back and enjoy this one, but give me Santos for the win. What are your thoughts on this fight, Weezy?
Yeah, my thoughts are the line is too wide. Santos is, 6 years younger. He's got a couple-inch reach advantage, but, it's Naimov who has 3 more fights at the UFC level, about 30 more minutes of UFC octagon time. He's facing the better brand of competition. He has the better wins at this level. And Naimov, he's just a guy that keeps getting underrated by the market. And I like betting on these kind of guys. He's 5-1 in the UFC over 6 fights, and the only fight that he lost was to Felipe Lima in round number 3, a fight that was 1-1 going into the 3rd round there. And, over 6 UFC fights, this guy's 5-1 with a 99% ROI. So I kind of like that the market keeps selling Naimov short because he's a good striker. This guy comes from a striking background. He's like a Asian Taekwondo champion world. I think he also competed in the Worlds. The guy's got a legitimate striking background. He's got excellent Taekwondo. He finds one big kick that lands in just about every fight, Brady. He puts somebody on skates or he knocks them down with his kicks. He's got good kicks to the body. He's not the best defensive striker by any stretch of the imagination. He's not the most accurate guy, but he's very competent there, and he does a good job of mixing in the wrestling when that's something he needs to go to. He's attempting 4.8 takedowns per 15 minutes, and his opponents are actually attempting more than that against him. They're attempting 7.6. And despite the fact that his opponents attempt more takedowns than Muhammad does, Muhammad's winning 54% of the control time positions, out-controlling his opponents about 28% to 23%. So I just think there's a lot of reasons to like the Naimov side. He's got more UFC experience. He's got the strength of schedule advantage. There's a short-term discount on Muhammad Naimov's money line right now, Brady. He was minus 340 against Khan Offley 2 fights ago. He's minus 270 the fight after Offley against Bogdan Grad. He wins both of those fights. And then now he's plus 205 against the guy that lost to Francis Marshall, to a guy whose other wins are what? It's Grad, Yusuf. And that fight was horrible.
Oh,
that fight was horrible. And Sadiq Yusuf is completely fucking washed. You go watch that fight. You can watch it 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. Go find me one point when Sadiq Yusuf even looked like he was trying to hurt Santos. That and he, you know what? And I had what was one of the most maddening bets ever, Brady. I bet the under in that fight. It was big plus money. Both of these guys have got power. We've seen both of these guys rock their opponents, get rocked in fights, and nothing fucking happened. Those guys didn't do jack shit. And Santos just kind of cruised. And I don't blame him because there was absolutely no threat at all coming back the other way towards him. So I don't blame him for cruising there because he was going to get a win check just for showing up. And that's basically what he did. But the Francis Marshall fight, he lost. Khan Offley, I don't think is really UFC level. He did a better job against Offley than Naimov did, though, for his for whatever that's worth. But yeah, this line just feels wide to me. Naimov has more ways to win this fight because I think he can win moments on the feet the same as Santos can. But Naimov has the better wrestling and grappling in this matchup. But, it's Santos who's younger, who's going to be a little bit bigger, and who's got the cleaner, more technical striking, and should be able to win the minutes while this fight is on the feet. But, if Naimov wrestles a lot here, if he has any success with that, he's going to make this fight very close. And then if you add on the fact that Naimov lands some of that spinning shit sometimes, he's very good with it. And if he catches Santos with some spinning shit in one of the rounds where he doesn't have grappling success, that could be enough for him to bank 2 out of 3 rounds. And guess what, Brady? If the fight is close, which one of these guys is going to be the better cheater to make things go their way? I promise you it's fucking Naimov. So I think that this line is a little bit off in terms of it's just a little bit too wide for my liking.
Yeah, my 110% agree. Like I saw... I got into the fights nice and early last week, and it's like I saw Santos like minus 180, and it's like, okay, I even didn't like it there. I'm like, I'm not a big Santos guy. Now he's like minus 255, minus 275. So I'm probably staying away from this one, but it's definitely a dog or pass. Like, how could you lay minus 300 on Santos? Like, I'm wondering if something's wrong with Naimov at this point. like he has some paths. He certainly has some paths, but yeah, I do lean Santos here ever so slightly.
Yeah, just remember, he was plus 350 against Malarkey in cashed. He was plus 250 against Nathaniel Wood in cashed. Yeah, we've seen him priced like this before and seen him cash in those spots. So just something to keep your mind on. This guy is getting underrated by the market, and he's consistently outperforming market expectations.
I know what I'll do. I'm going to play him on DraftKings. I think he's like 7,100.
There you go. I think that's a great look.
Yeah. Because Santos is like 9,100, something like that, something crazy like that.
Yeah, and you got some grappling upside on the Naimov side too.
Yeah, Santos is 9,100 and Naimov 7,100. So I'm gonna play some Naimov on DK. That's what I'll do to get exposure to this fight. All right, what do you guys like in this fight here? Not my favorite fight in the world, but yeah, line's kind of blown out. Wheezy, I love your vinyl mixes, buddy. Seriously underrated stuff. There you go.
Some old school stuff that actually is still on my YouTube channel, Brady, from from whatever COVID was like, when like nobody was leaving their house, like that was when I started doing some mixes on the turntables at my previous house.
Maybe you can do some during the break.
Yeah, maybe I can. I've got to get a new mixing board though. This thing is not working properly, and I probably need some new speaker wire too. Once I get the sound back. I got a vinyl collection that's to die for back there. So yeah, I could do some stuff like that. But I got to get some things fixed technologically on this side.
Fighting Nerds to go 2-0 again. So I believe the Fighting Nerds on this card is Marian Santos and Karina Silva, unless I'm missing one.
Oh, Santos is there?
I guess he's training at the Fighting Nerds.
Okay. I think that's good for him. I always thought that Myron Santos was at Extreme Couture though.
Yeah, I think he's going back and forth maybe, but I heard he's been doing some work at Fighting Nerds. He's wearing the glasses and everything.
Okay, all right, cool.
I don't know if it's for this camp or what, but he has been doing some work there. Yeah, only sexy men. What? Not at my steakhouse, buddy. Naimov slept Malarkey. He did. I mean, he was a big dog in that fight.
Yeah,
big dog. We got Eileen Perez's butthole. Naimov has a much better resume with wins over Nathaniel Wood. Bogdan Grad only lost to Felipe Lima. Line is way too wide. Agreed. Santos wins aren't overly impressive either. Yeah, because Yusuf didn't try, and he literally lost to Marshall. So I would agree, man. I would agree. Sacha saying, I'm sick of laying big minus numbers on Extreme Couture fighters. Naimov Loki leaves his shin in the air, but then I remember Edmund Shabazian took Andre Petrosky to a decision.
Sure did, man. That was fucking crazy to me.
I remember I had Shabazian by knockout because it's like such an obvious outcome.
Yeah, I did too.
Wild. But yeah, fights aren't fixed anymore. So if they ran that back, Shabazian would spark Petrosky if they ran it back. Because again, fights aren't fixed. Live Stat Diggers is a vibe. Appreciate High Mark Water. Yeah. I like Santos, but he doesn't fight with much urgency. He's a better fighter overall. I do agree he's a better fighter. And I think he has room for improvement. I think we'll see some improvements. But yeah, the urgency is not really there. He's just not a guy you want to lay minus 300 on. Yes. Naimov point deduction system play. Agreed. Probably sprinkling Naimov money line quarter unit worth a shot. Yeah, dog or pass. Naimov can also be very frustrating.
Yeah.
This fight could be terrible. It really could be terrible. I agree. Uncle Weezy definitely knows music that he does. Everyone's seen Eileen's butthole. I have, and I don't recommend. Absolutely do not recommend. All right. What's worse, a two-handed tap or tapping out on your own face? Oh, they're both pretty rough. Who tapped out on their own face?
I don't know. I don't know that one.
Was it Tagir? I don't know. Was it Tagir? I didn't
see.
Who tapped out their own face? I don't know. Let me know. But I guess both are pretty bad. All right, let's move on. Oh, Naimov tapped out on his own face against Lima.
Oh my God! Wow.
When he quit against Lima.
Yeah, round number 3 against a guy taking the fight on like less than a week's notice, making his debut, and he's the one that quit.
The MMA community cashed on sub round 2, round 3 for Lima.
Yeah.
Everybody besides, I think me and you were the only people that didn't bet it because I didn't want to bet the fight. But yeah, that was crazy. All right. Oh, Edmund is a good friend of mine. If that fight was fixed, I would have known. Game plan was to technically outstrike him, not rush a finish. Fair enough.
Yeah, well, nobody's ever rushed a finish on Petrosky. They just happen.
Just happens.
You know, like fucking Ferrer got him out of there in 58 seconds.
He got knocked out by a hip.
Yeah, he got knocked out by a fucking
crazy. All right, let's move on to the next fight. We got Mansur Abdul Malik going against Antonio Trocoli. We got Mansur Abdul Malik, 28 years old, 6'2" with a 79-inch reach. Trocoli, 34 years old, 6'5" with an 82-inch reach. We got Mansur, 6 years younger. Trocoli with a 3-inch height advantage and a 3-inch reach advantage. We got Abdul Malik, 4-0, and they call that a draw or a no contest?
So it was originally a technical decision win for Mansur Abdul Malik, and then it was overturned to a draw. Oh. Now, I'm not sure what the commission was doing there, but I know that I think the Brundage side had appealed the fight because of the foul. I think they were saying the commission handled it wrong. So I don't know what happened there, Brady, but it's been overturned to a draw from a technical decision win for Mansur Abdul Malik.
Such a stupid fight. That was such a dumb fight. But yeah, Trocoli is like 2-1 no contest his last 5 fights. So this, in my opinion, it's just not a real fight. I don't think this is a real fight. I don't think Trocoli's a real fighter. You know, this guy's a poker player pretending to be an MMA fighter. Like he's barely fought the last several years, and the times he has fought, I mean, he got knocked out by Shara, and he got submitted by Tresean Gore. Like, if you lose to Tresean Gore, and you're probably not a UFC caliber fighter. So, yeah, I mean, this is, in my opinion, this is Mansur Abdul Malik versus Mansur Abdul Malik. You know, go out there and beat this guy. I mean, Trocoli poses absolutely zero threat on the feet. He poses absolutely zero threat in the wrestling. He poses absolutely zero threat, quite frankly, anywhere. I mean, this should be a walk in the park for Abdul Malik, and the line does indicate that. But the question with Mansur Abdul Malik is, you know, does he cash another over 1.5? You know, him and his buddies, they cashed a big over 1.5 in the Cody Brundage fight. I mean, the under closed like almost minus 250, minus 300 in that Brundage fight. Yeah. It soared over. You know, it wasn't even close. You know, they didn't start fighting until the 3rd round hit. And once that 3rd round hit, they started fighting, and look what happened. The fight was finished. Yeah. And even Nick Klein. Nick Klein is probably one of the worst fighters to step foot into the UFC. Nick Klein has 5 minutes of cardio. Nick Klein made it over 1.5 rounds. So the question is, does Mansur Abdul Malik cash another over 1.5? Or does he go out there and handle business and get this bum out of here in the 1st round?
Well, I wrote this fight up already. I'm gonna read what I wrote. From what I've seen of Mansur Abdul Malik so far, he looks like an overrated prospect. He's an impressive looking dude with a yoked physique, with power in his strikes and ground and pound, and a wrestling background. But he's low volume. He doesn't wrestle offensively very much, and his distance striking defense is pitiful. Mansur has a high ceiling due to his athleticism, his natural power, and his wrestling background, but he hasn't shown much in the UFC against the worst fighters in the division. Antonio Trocoli sucks. He pissed hot for steroids when he beat Kenneth Berg on Dana White's Contender Series back in 2019, then fought once over the next 5 years against a nobody who he beat in 2 minutes. Trocoli is rumored to not even be training. He's playing professional poker and looks to be more of a playboy than a fighter right now. So even though I'd love to fade Abdul Malik against anyone with a pulse, Trocoli stinks at MMA and cannot be taken seriously as a fighter. After Mansour's dog shit fight last time out against Cody Brundage, which was a massive middle finger to serious UFC fans around the globe, he needs to show some of the promise that has made him an average minus 867 favorite over his 3 UFC fights. Think about that, Brady. They're matching this guy up with such shitty competition, and the expectations on Abdul Malik are so high that over these last 3 fights, this guy's average betting line has been minus 867. So over, that's made him that big of a favorite over his 3 UFC fights, and he's got to finish this bum in the first round with a brutal knockout. And I mean, that's going to be my prediction. The under 1.5 will be juiced to the tits, but I do think Mansour is going to actually try this fight and knock out Trocoli in the first round. I'll probably be passing on this fight from a gambling perspective, unless there are massive mistakes made in how the books price the props. But I noticed that Abdul Malik's KO prop was minus 400, and that his inside the distance prop is minus 700.
There we go.
So bravo, you did not mess that up. That's probably accurate. There's probably even a little bit. I mean, I would say he knocks out Trocoli, like, depending on how many times you think he subs him. And let's say he subs him 5 out of 100 times. I honestly think he knocks him out 90. I mean, I'm serious.
Well, how many of these times is he throwing the fight, though? How many times?
I know. Trocoli's win condition here is that Abdul Malik throws the fight and then gets suspended for the rest of his professional career from the UFC and winds up on the same desert island that Isaac Dulgarian is currently on.
Yep. I'm telling you right now, the smash your bet. Or smash your bet. Maybe you'll smash the bet. You smash your TV play of the week. Mansour Abdul Malik, Antonio Trocoli under 1.5 rounds, minus 175. I was kind of shocked to see he was at minus 175 after he's been cashing overs left and right without really any sweat.
Yeah, but this is Trocoli. I mean, like, this guy he offers nothing.
That's true.
I can't believe he went to the third with Shara. That just shows that Shara is not very good.
Yeah.
How the hell did Shara not knock this nobody out? Dude, he took that fight on less than a week's notice and flew all the way to fucking Saudi Arabia. And it still took Shara 3 rounds to get that bum out of there.
Yeah.
It's pathetic.
It is. So I don't know if I'll be touching this one. We'll kind of see. But yeah, I don't know. Herzog's going to be reffing it. And then you got to kind of worry about Mansour not trying. He just hasn't tried yet. Like, try, dude.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing to worry about. There's literally zero. You have a poker player in front of you.
Yeah.
There's zero threat. Literally zero threat with Antonio Trocoli. So hopefully he doesn't fight like hesitant and goes out there and makes a statement, because he really needs to, because quite frankly, it's getting annoying. It's getting super annoying. And I'm looking at you, Mansour. I'm looking at you. You know, it's getting a little suspicious. How do you not throw anything until the 3rd round, and then you go all out? I don't know. Very suspicious stuff. Mansour by KO. Yep, minus 400. Minus 400. Holy crap.
Yeah.
I think Mansour will know the chatter is going on about how boring the Brundage fight was, and he actually quickly finishes Trocoli in under half a round. The thing with Mansour is, like, whenever he starts trying, he finishes people shortly after. But he's got to try. He's got to let those hands go. We got Otterball. What is up? It was so funny when Trocoli got sub in 30 seconds by Gore. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, this guy Trocoli is supposed to be like a legit BJJ black belt, and he got submitted by Trayshawn Gore in 30 seconds. Just wild to me. As a poker player, he's trying to find any and every angle to make some money on it.
Yeah.
Trocoli seems more interested in playing poker than fighting. Yeah, I mean, he's a full-time poker player. He's not a fighter. Abdul Malik said he wanted to prove he had 3-round cardio in his last fight. Why do people do that? Like, who cares? Just go out there and win the fight. Go out there.
I mean, for as far as like what that does for your UFC career, it makes you almost cuttable. Like right there. You look at some of these guys, like Martin Budai got cut after going 7-1. If your fights suck, they'll cut your ass. I mean, look at Muhammad Makayev. Never lost a fucking fight. And then he had that absolute dog shit fight with Manel Kape. You remember what an embarrassment that was?
Yeah.
Remember that there were armed security guards in the fucking octagon before the fight started, holding these guys back, like they were going to be fucking, Hannibal Lecter going after a dead body, and they go out there and don't throw a punch for 15 full minutes after they were talking about how they were going to eviscerate each other in the octagon. It was one of the most embarrassing fights ever. And, that's the thing about what we have to deal with Malik here. They're giving him not maybe the worst fighter in any of the men's divisions right now that's not heavyweight. Trocoli is the worst guy. And they're feeding him this guy to him, saying, like, you better make a meme out of this guy, because if you don't, I'd cut him. Seriously, he's young still. He's young. You got to send a message to nobody wants to see a muscle-bound freak like that go out there and try to point fight.
Oh God, yeah.
So he needs to go out there and finish this dude.
Agreed. I swear the Trocoli Shara fight was fixed. Maybe, I don't know. Trocoli loves the William Knight game plan. Trocoli being oversexed by Dern. Can't help it. There we go. I think they broke up, though. I paid my rent with Asu sub and Armin sub last card. There you go.
Nice.
Mansurd's Dana White's Contender Series fight also went over, too. People forget.
Yeah.
Yeah, did it? Let's see. Yeah, it did. Against Wes Schultz went a little bit over 1.5. Yeah, he goes over 1.5 more than he should, which is...
Yeah.
Well, we're talking about laying minus 175 on the under, so it's terrifying.
But the thing is, Brady, like, he had never been out of the first round when he was on DWCS.
Yeah.
So, like, up until that point, he had been just absolutely running through these hoes, all first round knockouts.
Yep. And now he's not. But we'll see. Malik KO second round. I could see that. Trocoli is more of a degenerate gambler than a poker pro. Malik versus Malik. So, yeah. Mokai was cut because he was treating the PI staff like shit.
Well, if he was treating the PI staff like shit, but was putting on fights like Brandon Royval or like Chris Duncan, they wouldn't have given a shit that he was treating the staff like shit. I'm sure there's lots of stuck-up assholes that treat the staff like shit, but, like, you think Conor McGregor was a nice guy to those people?
No.
I don't think he was, but I'm like, you're not cutting McGregor. The guy's like the best on the mic. He was likable, charismatic, putting on fun fights. Makayev was out there crotch sniffing and calling himself the best fighter in the world, so people got fucking sick of it.
We got Clint from the Die Hard MMA podcast. What is up, Clint? I was watching a little bit of your show earlier. Still have like an hour and a half to go. You guys went long. You and Cody went like 2.5 hours. So I'll be watching the rest of that tomorrow. No one treats. Apparently, he was treating the staff really bad.
Oh yeah, I mean, I heard that too, and that was the official reason. I'm just saying it would have been a lot harder to cut him.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
If Makayev had been putting on just awesome fights, I think they might have maybe like sat him down and been like, "Hey, look, this is what's going to change. You're acting like a fucking asshole, and you're not even the champion yet. So you would sit down and you would talk to the kid. Yeah. I would think." If you really thought that he was going to be like a Conor McGregor type of asset, you would have sat down and, but instead what you did was you did what you felt like you could do, which is we're going to make an example out of this kid. And they did.
Yeah, I wonder what he did to them. That's so bad. I don't know.
I'm sure he's because he's a 21-year-old kid who never lost. And sometimes those are the worst people in the world to deal with.
Agreed. Someone please. Yeah, I agree. Hopefully we get something for 2026. Over the next 6 weeks, we'll try to come up with something for a sponsor. All right, let's move on to the next fight. And it is going to be Iwo Baroninski going against Ibo Oslon. We got Baroninski, who is 27 years old, 6 foot with a 73-inch reach. Ibo Oslon, 29 years old, 6'3" with a 77-inch reach. Baroninski is 2 years younger. He's going to have a 3-inch height disadvantage and a 4-inch reach disadvantage. Baroninski is 5-0 in his last 5 fights. He had a win on the Contender Series as a pretty big underdog against Muhammad Ali, and he won that fight in like 30 seconds. As far as Ibo Oslon, he is 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Had a knockout win on the Contender Series against Paulo Renato Jr., had a knockout win against Anton Trocoli, a knockout win against Rafael Cerquera, and then lost to Iwan Kudalaba by submission, and then Billy Elikana by decision. So yeah, I think this is a fun fight here. I'm looking forward to the debut of Iwo Baroninski. This guy looks pretty good to me. You know, he has only 5-6 professional fights, but you know, he's going out there, and outside of the Ali fight, he's just taking guys down. You know, he's getting on top, and he's either pounding you out or he's finding a submission. I was really impressed with the judo of Iwo. And once he does get on top, he is pretty vicious there. There are question marks in terms of what happens if this fight does get out of the first round, but I'm not quite sure it does. Just after seeing what Iwan Kudalaba did to Ibo Oslon, I mean, that was a really bad look. It was funny actually because Kudalaba, I don't think had ever even attempted a submission, and he choked out Oslon. It's like that was a horrible look to me. Like if this guy Iwo Baroninski gets on top of Oslon, I think the fight's probably over shortly after. And then on the feet, both guys have power. Oslon, he has power. I think both guys can knock each other out. I just think that Iwo Baroninski has a big advantage if he's able to get the fight down to the ground. And if he does, I think he serves Oslon. I think the best way to play this is the under 1.5 rounds rather than a side, especially laying minus, what is Iwo now? Minus 185 on somebody making their debut. So yeah, I like the under more than anything, but I like Baroninski here, and I think he could win by like a ground and pound or even a submission on the mat.
Yeah, it's an interesting fight. Like when I first broke this down, I kind of thought to myself, yeah, I think Oslon is the side, because he's got 16 pro fights compared to only 6 for Baroninski. He's got 4 UFC fights and a Dana White Contender Series fight, while Baroninski's got 6 pro fights that have lasted a grand total of 14 minutes. So Oslon had more cage time against Elikana in his last fight than Baroninski has had as a professional. So I was kind of thinking to myself, like, Baroninski goes from being priced where in his last fight against Muhammad Ali, he was priced as a plus 230 underdog. And even though Ali's a pretty hot prospect that had a lot of hype on him going into that fight, remember, that dude was only 4-0. So I kind of thought like, oh, wow, that's something I try to look at is, where was this guy priced in his last fight and against who, and where is he priced now? So it feels like just in a one-term or in a one-fight shift here, he's went from being plus 230 to being minus 185 against a much more experienced guy in Oslon who hits extremely hard on the feet and is coming off a career worst performance.
Oh.
I would argue that the Elikana performance was 10 times worse than the Kudalaba performance.
Oh.
Because at least in the Kudalaba performance, they were trading bombs on the feet. Both guys were landing some shots. And at some point, Iwan was like, I don't think I want to stand with this dude anymore. And he got him down, and then he finished him shortly thereafter. But it was because he knew that, like, I don't want to be on the fight again. I don't want to be on the feet against this guy. He hits hard. Ibo is 14-3 as a pro. When his fights end by knockout, he's 14-0. When his fights end by submission or decision, he's 0-3. He's a very easy fighter to handicap. He knocks everybody out. That's what he does. So he doesn't need to care about winning minutes, Brady. Why bother? That just takes more effort. Just save up and find that one big shot when the opportunity presents itself, and then you get out of there. Average fight time of 4.3 minutes over 16 professional fights. So, Oslon's got one-punch knockout power, and he can finish you early. And we've seen this guy go later in fights and actually get wins. Even on the regional scene, we saw him go into round 3 with Robert Valentin and find a win against that level of an opponent. So I think that, the market has gone a little bit too far bidding up Baroninski's money line, but I get it. This kid looks like the real deal for me, at least. He's got a legit high-level judo background. He can get takedowns from the clinch because of that judo background, and he's got real power on the feet. And I've even seen him eat a couple of shots and take them really well for a big guy. So I think Baroninski's got like a really high ceiling. And there was one thing that I didn't realize. I didn't look into it, but my guy Nathan in my Discord, Brady, alerted me to the fact that Baroninski might only have 6 professional fights that have lasted 14 minutes. This guy's 16-3 as an amateur.
Yeah.
19 amateur fights. Several of them have went to decision. So even though an amateur fight going to decision only lasts 9 minutes, it's still good to know that this guy is not only winning those fights, but he has went to decision a number of times. So maybe there's not as many unanswered questions on the Baroninski side about what happens if this fight gets to round 2. Are we going to see an adrenaline dump? Does he have the kind of conditioning if he's trying to grapple early to push that kind of pace? And we don't really have the answers to those questions yet. So that leaves unanswered questions on the Baroninski side, and you're laying juice on a debutant that's much less experienced with a strength of schedule disadvantage and probably a little bit of a power disadvantage on the feet. So you got to know what you're up against on the Baroninski side here. But he looks like the fighter with more paths to victory. He looks like he can actually match Oslon's power on the feet. And he's got a legit grappling background that he came from to go to this level, while we know that Ibo is not really going to be known for his grappling prowess. If you're getting submitted by Iwan Kutalaba, you're not really a grappler that's going to be UFC level.
He got submitted easily by Kutalaba. Like, there is no resistance. He looked like Elise Reed out there. Worse than Elise Reed, actually. Just bad.
You reminded me of that hurts, because I remember telling like the guys in my Discord on all my pay-per-view shows, dude, you cannot bet Kutalaba by submission. If this is going to be a ground and pound knockout, I said that submission was dead money. And when he fucking locked in that arm triangle, I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. Not one submission attempt over how many UFC? It was like 17 UFC fights at that point.
Yeah.
First one he ever attempts, he gets it immediately against Oslon.
Yeah, and it was plus 900 because I was looking at it all week. It was plus 900 for the sub. I didn't pull the trigger on it, but yeah, it's great. Like, if I want Kutalaba subbing you, I think this guy could as well. So yeah, we don't have this is the only fight they didn't get all the props out on yet. They only have the total. They don't have the sub. I was kind of interested to see what the sub prop was going to be at for Iwu. But
yeah, me too, because that's a very interesting look, because Ibo has 2 career losses by submission, and he's only got 3 losses as a professional. So we know what the weak spot in his game is, and we've seen Baroninski get takedowns and look like a monster on top. Whether it's the ground and pound or advancing to dominant positions and finishing with submission, he gets people out of there once he gets into top position.
Yeah, and that Elikana fight, that wasn't a fight. That wasn't even a fight. They didn't do anything.
Bizarre.
Yeah, they didn't do anything.
You guys were smiling. They were in there laughing like they were having a good old time. I mean, if I had bet the under in that fight, I would have been losing my shit.
I mean, the fight doesn't go. It was like minus 500, and just they didn't do anything for 15 minutes.
In retrospect, it was an Elikana fight, and I should have just bet the over.
Yeah.
In retrospect, I did not do that though.
No, I think it was the first time that Oslon went even to decision, right?
Yeah, he has 1 decision in 16 professional fights, and it was the last fight against Elikana.
Yeah, that was crazy. Hopefully he tries this time. I hate when fighters don't try. Like try, dude. Like, just try.
It was just an awful performance.
Yeah. Iwu by sub. Iwu ITD. Wish we had props to talk about these. We got David in the building. What is up? Clint, the Fuking man. Question for Brady, Uncle Weezy. Remember when the UFC would roll out fight announcements like McGregor versus Aldo? Yeah, absolutely. Is it me, or is the UFC fight announcements seem a lot less energetic? Oh, by far, a lot less energetic than the old days. I feel like in the old days they actually tried to promote stuff. Now they don't.
Agreed.
Yeah, I mean, it looked rigged to me. It looked rigged to me. Trocoli and Oslon parlay would be wild. Would be very wild. Give me the Polish submission game over Ebo. Poland is going to have a great night with Iwo and Jan Blahovich. I hope so. I hope you're right. What emoji is that? Is that a cat emoji?
I think it's scream if you love Poland. It's like the Brock Lesnar meme.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah, but they have it for every country.
What the hell was Ryan Loder laughing about last Saturday before he got KO? I don't know.
I don't know, man. I didn't even. Yeah, whatever it was, it didn't work out. His big move turned out to be shit.
Wasn't funny to me. Definitely wasn't funny to me. But yeah. Let's move on to the next fight. We got Edson Barbosa going against the return of Jalen Turner. We got Barbosa, 39 years old, 5'11" with a 75-inch reach. Jalen Turner, 30 years old, 6'3" with a 77-inch reach. Jalen Turner, 9 years younger, 4-inch height advantage and a 2-inch reach advantage. Barbosa is 2-3 in his last 5 fights. Decision loss to Bryce Mitchell. Knockout win against Billy Quarantillo. Decision win against Sadiq Youssef. Decision loss against Lerone Murphy. Decision loss against Jakar Close. As far as Jalen Turner, he has 1-4 in his last 5 fights. Decision loss against Mateus Gamrot. Decision loss against Dan Hooker. Knockout win against Bobby Green. Knockout loss to Renato Moicano. And a submission loss to Ignacio Bahamondes. See, this is kind of frustrating for me because you know when you look at a card and you're like, that's the spot. That's the spot this week. And I'm like, I really like Jalen Turner against Barbosa. Maybe we can catch him slipping. Returner is coming back from retirement. This guy's 13-9. He's 1-4 in his last fight. We're going to get a good line on Turner, right? Wrong. Minus 300 on Jalen Turner. It's like, come on, man. Come on, man. Really? Minus 300. But yeah, I agree with it. Jalen Turner, he retired. And when he did, it's like, I was like a little upset because this guy has so much talent, so much potential. You look at his record, 13-9, 14-9, and he doesn't look like a 14-9 type fighter. He was a very good fighter. When he's losing fights, it was the Gamrot fight, which was a very close loss where he got taken down a lot. In the Dan Hooker fight, which was a very close loss. The Bahamondes fight where he got submitted. The Moicano fight where he got taken down and TKO'd. The Frivola fight where he's getting taken down. I believe Luque back in the day when he got knocked out. Yeah, Turner, I think, has a lot of upside. And when he retired, I'm like, what the heck, dude? You have too much talent just to just retire. But he's coming back, which I could have, I guess, guessed that would happen. Like, we saw Jimmy Crute retire at 27, and he came back, and Crute's went 2-0 since then. And maybe it was kind of good for Turner to maybe take a little bit of a break, maybe kind of fall back in love with the game. And if we get a motivated Jalen Turner, I mean, it's going to be basically a sanctioned murder. I've kind of thought Barbosa has been washed for a very long time. Sadiq Youssef was very close to knocking him out. The ref was very close to stopping the fight in the first round. Youssef kind of blew his load in round 1 and then lost like the next 4 rounds. But I mean, Youssef was very close to finishing Barbosa. The Lerone Murphy fight was a horrible look. Barbosa got hurt literally 50 times in that fight. I mean, go back and watch. Barbosa got hurt 50 different times in that fight. He did the stanky leg. He wobbled. He went unconscious on the feet for a brief second. I mean, he got hurt a ton in the Murphy fight. And then Wheezy. Jakar Close hurt Barbosa badly. We were there watching live. It was hard to kind of tell live. I could see maybe something was going on. Maybe he did get hurt a little bit. I went back and watched the Barbosa Close fight. Close literally knocked out Barbosa. Barbosa was out on the feet. He was out on the feet, and what does Jakar Close do? Instead of landing maybe one follow-up shot to put him out, he clinches up with him. But yeah, Barbosa was literally outstanding. Out cold standing and Close just clinched up with him. I think the durability of Barbosa is completely done, and that's a big concern against Jalen Turner, who's literally one of the hardest hitters in the entire division. Jalen Turner has the death touch. This guy's 6'3" in the lightweight division, and if he hits you, you're getting hurt. and getting hurt very badly. So, and yeah, Barbosa's not going to grapple him, especially at 40 years old. Barbosa just looks bad to me. He looks really rough. So, yeah, I mean, the big concern and why, maybe laying minus 300 on Turner is not the best idea. It's just the mental part. But if like a halfway motivated Turner shows up, I think he sparks Barbosa here. So I don't know what I'm going to do with this fight yet. I like the unders quite a bit, even though they've been getting smashed. I'm going to be looking at some Turner props, but I mean, this is a fight where he should go out there and I think the durability of Barbosa will finally catch up. He hasn't been knocked out in a while since the Gaethje fight, but boy, is he getting hurt in every single fight. So yeah, I like Turner here. I like him a lot, but I think the book was very sharp and everybody was very sharp, blowing out this line because it has been completely blown out. Turner went from minus 225 to minus 300.
Yeah. I mean, like both of these guys for me are on the no bet list. Jalen Turner, he's 7-6 in the UFC. This is a guy that if he was any good at all, if he had any, he's got all these, natural gifts, just being a massive lightweight. You can't teach size. You can't teach height. You can't teach length. You can't teach being a lefty. It's just something that, that he has all of those things. And if he had the right coaching and the right ability to kind of make those decisions in the cage that, and chain those good decisions together that can find finishes for you in fights or find minutes, which is something he just can't do. This guy can never consistently win minutes, which is bizarre to me. He should absolutely be able to control where the fight takes place, and he should be able to safely manage distance striking range as a 6'3" lightweight, but he can't. For some reason, he just can't win minutes with any kind of reliability at all. He constantly underperforms market expectations. He's got a winning record of 7-6 in the UFC, but he's got a negative 3% ROI because the market keeps overpricing him and overrating his skill set. And then with Barbosa, man, like I bet on Barbosa against Laron Murphy. And I remember just being like a one round into that fight, I was like, holy shit, was this a terrible bet? And then I even remember being like, Laron Murphy's never going to knock anybody out because if he couldn't get fucking Barbosa out of there, there's no way that and then he just absolutely nukes Pico in Chicago when we're in front of us there. So, it's weird how this sport has kind of ups and downs. And, like sometimes a fighter's biggest knockout will come one fight after where they were supposed to knock somebody out, but they completely dropped the ball. So, with Turner, I don't have any faith in this guy. Like, I feel like he should be so much better than what he is and what he's shown at this point. And then it's clear that, if you're fucking retiring at the age of 29, then it was never there to begin with. You were never in a place where you were happy doing this, where you were comfortable doing this, where you felt like you were improving, getting better, surrounding yourself with the right people. So I don't want to lay minus 300 on Turner, but I still think that that's like almost a pretty fair line considering how washed Edson Barbosa is. Like Sadiq Youssef absolutely should have knocked him out in the first round. Even Quarantillo was destroying him. And he was just pressuring forward and landing. And then he walked right onto a knee and the fight ended. But, Bryce Mitchell out-grappled him. Laron Murphy toyed with him. And like you say, Drakkar Klose came really close to finishing him in Chicago. And close finishes nobody.
Oh, well, he finished Brandon Jenkins.
I remember Brandon Jenkins, yes, a very terrible fighter. But yeah, he finished that dude. But outside of that, man, he's not finishing anybody. So it was surprising to see that Barbosa, that version of Barbosa there. It's just not there for him anymore. So Turner, he could find a way to fuck this up. Jalen Turner can absolutely underperform market expectations. It's something that he's done in most of his fights at the UFC level. But, if he fucks this one up, dude, it's time to retire again.
Yeah, but how many F-ups were because of grappling, though? Bahamondes choked him out. That's one. TKO'd him. That's 2. Gamrot wrestled him. That's 3. Fervola wrestled him. That's 4. So a lot of his F-ups are because of wrestling.
Yeah, but he's also 6'3" with a 77-inch reach. It shouldn't be. None of these shots should be free on him. He should be uppercuts, knees up the middle. He should be feinting that shit constantly against grapplers. You know, and if his footwork was better, he would be able to maintain range, and it would be more difficult for these guys to shoot in. He's just not. He's not utilizing all these gifts. Like if this guy had George St. Pierre fight IQ, he would be one of the best fighters that ever fucking lived, Brady. Yeah. Seriously.
No,
I mean, if somebody with this guy's frame, this guy's natural power, his ability to be able to find submissions with those unusually long limbs, if he learned how to put it all together, he'd be an absolute nightmare. But guess what? He's 14-9.
Oh,
that's a dog shit record for a UFC fighter. Unless all 23 fights have been at the UFC level, that's not good.
Yeah. Yep. Which is why I thought we'd get a better price, but they're all over it.
They are all over it. And as much as I'd like to say that there's value on the Barbosa side, at plus 250, if you put $100 on Edson Barbosa to win, you're going to lose $100.
Yeah, I mean, it's just he was reacting really poorly to Jakar Close.
Yeah. And I mean, like, Turner would knock Close into the middle of next week.
Because I thought Close was washed.
Yeah, I know, dude. Close had to take a year off because he got shoved after weigh-ins. You know, I mean, like, he's not exactly a guy in the prime of his career right now.
Yeah, I don't know. They're kind of giving Turner a little bit of a layup, but we'll see if he F's this one up, man. We'll see. But yeah, Turner opened up minus 225, currently minus 300. Barbosa opened up plus 210, plus 190, currently plus 250. It was weird. They opened up the over under at 2.5, and it got all the way to like plus 105 at under 2.5 for some reason, minus 110, and then they moved it to 1.5. And then the 1.5 got smashed, and the under 1.5 is currently sitting like minus 115. So yeah, money's pouring in on the unders, money's pouring in on Jalen Turner. I think the consensus is Turner should go out there and finish it early, but we'll see. What do you guys like in this fight here? What is the KO prop at? The KO prop is currently plus 110.
Yeah, plus 110 for Turner, plus 400 for Barbosa.
Yeah, but he can like club and sub. You know, he has a ton of club and subs, Turner. So I would just take the ITD. Haven't seen a single person pick Barbosa yet. It's just really tough to with how he's looking. I have a much larger bet on Tarantula than I should. Yeah, I'll have a good amount on him too, and we'll see if he can get it done. Favorite DraftKings DFS plays. I'll be getting up my DraftKings video tomorrow, actually. Several units on fight doesn't go decision whenever that comes out. It's minus 400. They're sharp to it, man. You could do it, take a contrarian route and go Turner decision, which is plus 600, but I mean, he's never won one. And if it goes to decision, quite frankly, I'm not convinced he looks anywhere near minus 300. Turner should win, but he isn't training very hard. I don't know if that's true or not. Barbosa, round 1 KO is the best steakhouse bet for Turner if he's coming out of retirement for money. At least it would cash the under. We got half the battle. What is up? Who needs the most help? Jalen Turner, Edson Barbosa, Henry Cejudo, or Ivo Oslon? They all kind of need help in their own way. Like Barbosa's 40, can't take a punch. Cejudo's retiring this fight, hasn't won in 5 years. Oslon didn't try in his last fight. Turner retired. I don't know. I think it's all pretty close here, to be honest.
Yeah, there's some bad momentum with a lot of those fighters right now.
Yeah. Edson via telling Jalen it's time. Yeah, I think it's time for Barbosa to maybe hang him up. Think about it.
Yeah.
Cejudo definitely needs some help. Yeah, I would tend to agree. 14-9 is also Cedricus Dumas's record for prison fights. I didn't know that. Who has Jalen Turner been? I heard he has been training with Ian Gary. I heard an interview with Turner and said he's been training was helping out Gary with his fight. And he said that Gary was like, dude, you're so good. You know, stuff like that. Kind of talked him into fighting again type thing. So I think he's been training with Ian Gary a little bit. I'm not sure who else, though. It's not fun watching a slower, less reactive Edson taking these beatings lately. I think Turner will hurt him very bad. Turner by sub is
plus 350, and I think that's the play, dude.
Well, it was plus 500. Well,
oh, yeah. Well, other people agree then that plus 500 is
because it could be a club and sub. It was just as easy, you know?
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next fight. It is going to be, in my opinion, just a really weird fight, and one of the toughest fights to call on the card. It's Marvin Vettori going against Bruno Ferreira. We got Marvin Vettori, 32 years old, 6 foot with a 74-inch reach. Bruno Ferreira, 33 years old, 5'10" with a 72-inch reach. Vettori 1 year younger, 2-inch height advantage and a 2-inch reach advantage. Vettori is 1-4 in his last 5 fights. Decision loss to Robert Whittaker. Decision win against Roman Dolidze. Decision loss to Jared Cannonier. Decision loss to Roman Dolidze. Decision loss to Brendan Allen in his last fight. As far as Ferrer, he is 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Knockout win against Phil Haas. Knockout win against Dustin Stoltzfus. Submission loss to Abus Magomedov. Submission win against Armin Petrosian. And a submission win against Jackson McVeigh. So I don't know what to do here. It's a weird fight because Bruno Ferreira has a 100% finish rate. Bruno Ferreira has won, I think, 1 fight that's went over 1.5 rounds, and it was in the Armin Petrosian fight. All of his other wins are in the first 7.5, 6 minutes of the fight. I don't think Ferreira is the best minute winner. I don't think he has the best volume. I don't think he has the best cardio. And the Abus fight was horrible. I know me and you both had a bet on Abus Magomedov there, but I'll tell you right now, I wasn't expecting Abus Magomedov to out-cardio this guy and submit him in the 3rd round. So, yeah, is Bruno Ferreira going to be the first person to ever knock out Marvin Vettori? I'm not sure. Is Bruno Ferreira going to win his first ever decision? I'm not sure. I don't know. I think Vettori's washed, which is crazy to say because he's only 32, but I mean, he looks awful. He's been dealing with injuries. He's been dealing with stuff outside the cage. He looks just very bad. He took a big beating against Jared Cannonier, took a lot of damage in the Allen fight. So I think Vettori's kind of on his way out. But, I mean, in theory, I think it's a pretty winnable matchup for him in a sense that I think he should be the minute winner in the striking and grappling. He's fought the much better competition by a country mile. He has the much better cardio, the much better durability. I think there's a ton of reasons to like Vettori, but he's kind of washed is my problem. So I feel like this fight can go so many different ways. The fight's at a pick'em. This is one that I might just stay away from because I can see 20 different outcomes here. Weezy, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, I thought the same thing. I'm like, this is really weird because you can make eloquent arguments for both fighters, right? On the Ferreira side, you could be like, okay, maybe he's a year older than Marvin. You don't like, taking the less experienced fighter who's older, but we know that Ferreira is extremely explosive. The guy's got 100% finish rate in 14 pro wins. He's finished all 5 of his UFC wins. He's got 2 submissions. He's got 3 knockouts. Guy's got legitimate power on the feet, and he's got good judo. He's got a good ground game. He can find submissions on the mat, as we saw in the Jackson McVeigh fight. And so also against Petrosian, who's a lower level grappler, he was able to go down there and submit those guys, but he's out there knocking out a guy like RoboCop. RoboCop is a phenomenal fighter. He got wins over Stoltzfus and Haas too by knockout, and I think he was winning that Magomedov fight up until the 3rd. But either way, whether he was winning it or not, it's not really important. I think Magomedov is actually just as dangerous of a fighter as Vettori right now. But stylistically, to ask a guy in Ferreira who's at a pretty big strength of schedule disadvantage here, who's at a big UFC experience disadvantage, and to asking him to finish a guy that's, been notoriously hard to take down and hold down and virtually impossible to knock out. We know that Marvin Vettori has a ironclad chin because he gets hit a lot, but also because this guy eats some of the cleanest shots I've ever seen and just does not seem to bother him. So to think that Bruno Ferreira is going to be the first guy to knock out Marvin Vettori, you would have to think that Vettori is turbo washed. And I just don't see that. He's only 32, Brady. 32 years old. He's not turbo washed. He's not right at the end of his career. He's had a long layoff. He's had a serious shoulder injury. The guy lost his brother to a freak accident. And mentally, of course, that couldn't have helped him at all. But I kind of feel like Ferreira being just close to a pick'em here against Vettori is the market saying that Vettori is completely washed. Because stylistically, how is Ferreira going to win? He's going to be the first person to knock out Vettori. He's going to be the first person to submit Vettori. Oh. I don't think either of those things are going to. Dude, if he knocked out Vettori, it would be fucking shocking. This guy has got one of the best chins I've ever seen. And that's in 17 UFC fights, 294 minutes in the UFC cage. This guy's never even been knocked down. So Ferreira's going to have a very difficult time finishing this guy. Ferreira's never even been to decision as a professional, and he gasses out after round one. So I feel like Vettori's the side, but you also got to lay a little bit of juice on him, don't you?
Yeah, it's like minus 115, minus 105.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So it was minus 130 like the other day.
Wow.
So a little bit of money has come in on Ferreira. And like I said, I think there's really good arguments to be made on both sides. There really are, because I could see potentially this guy finding a finish on Vettori if Vettori is nearing the end of his career. And that is a possibility. But we don't know that. We don't know Marvin. We don't know what his training situation is right now. So it's hard to answer some of these questions. It feels like a pretty good stay away, but like I also feel like, Vettori by decision. You know what's a crazy fucking line? An absolutely bonkers line, Brady. If I would have told you this in any other fight, you would have been laughing your ass off.
Let's hear it.
Marvin Vettori finish only is plus 200.
That's crazy.
Right? So this is a guy who's never been close to being finished. Been in there against Adesanya, Costa, Whitaker. I mean, like top 5 opponents for like the last 6-7 years of his career. A bunch of them really hard hitters. And Bruno Ferreira is going to go out there and finish Marvin Vettori when a string of 8 straight top 5 fighters were unable to do that or really even get anywhere close. So I think Marvin Vettori finish only at plus 200 is a bet that probably doesn't cash, but to suggest that Ferreira has like 75% of the finish upside in this fight, if there is a finish, I think that's kind of ridiculous. This guy gasses out. This guy gets tired.
Oh.
Marvin Vettori doesn't.
I mean, he made Abu Smagomedov look like Fluffy Hernandez out there.
Yeah, and that's really something for a guy who gassed out in round 2 against Sean Strickland.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's an interesting fight. It's a very strange fight, like you said, Brady. And I think that this is going to be one of those fights where both sides are going to be making eloquent arguments and both sides have these kind of very clear paths to victory here. It's just going to be interesting seeing which one of these guys actually gets it done.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, if this was pre the second Dolidze fight, it'd be a max bet on Vettori here probably. But, I mean, God, I mean, he looked awful in that Dolidze fight. Just 25 minutes of awfulness. And then he looked pretty awful against Brendan Allen. But I don't know. Yeah, pretty much a pick 'em. We got minus 115 Vettori, minus 105 Ferreira. Pretty much a pick 'em on the fight goes and doesn't go as well, which I agree with. People are saying it's a Marvin Vettori fight. It's also a Ferreira fight. Marvin Vettori always goes the distance. Ferreira never goes the distance. So I think the total's probably right about a pick 'em. I think the money line's probably right about a pick 'em. I think so many outcomes can happen here. So I don't think I'll be touching this one. Let's see. Vettori also needs some help. I would tend to agree. Vettori finally gets KO'd or he wins via Homer Simpson, not betting it either way. Ferreira sucks. This guy death gasses, and you have to bet on Vettori to get chinned. A fool's errand. It got Vettori easy. Yeah, if he hasn't looked so bad, I'd be right there with you, but I don't know what I'm doing with this fight yet. Vettori has been getting hit a lot. Agreed. Allen hit him a ton, and Cannonier put up almost like 300 strikes on him. Goes the distance. This is a Vettori fight. We got Bonkus. What is up? Good to see you. Marvin, easy. Wrong. You are basing your point at a time he was not getting his head bashed. He is getting it bashed, but his shin's not cracking yet. Marvin, round 3. I mean, if Abus can win a round 3, why can't Marvin Vettori?
Yeah.
Vettori round. Oh, my God. Yeah. They're all over it. I mean, Vettori round 3, like you'd have to give me like plus 2,500 on it.
Yeah.
Plus 1,400.
Yeah, that's not enough, man. I think the domestics will have that at plus 2,000 or better.
Yeah, even like all the Vettori finish prop, like Vettori by sub is like plus 600. I don't know. I thought the round props would be like massive. I mean, it's Marvin Vettori. He only has like 3 finishes ever. Good shins don't last forever. That is true. Ferrer is going to club and sub, potentially. We got Freedom Guy, 1776 with the 499. Appreciate you, Freedom Guy. Thank you for hanging out, and thank you for the dono. Does Vettori finish anyone? Yeah, he has finished, I think, 3 or 4 guys. Was 3 or 4 by sub.
Yeah, I mean, he's fighting top 5 guys, you know? So
Yeah.
it's hard to get finishes up at that level, obviously, you know, when you're fighting guys that are, you know, all have championship aspirations. But, you know, this guy, Ferrer, has never been to a decision in his career. So that means he's been finished in 100% of his losses. So, you know, that's how he loses fights, because he doesn't bring 3 rounds of cardio. So he might not finish anybody, but I also think plus 200 for the finish only prop is a big discount when you consider how durable Vettori has been at the UFC level against guys that all beat Bruno Ferreira.
Yeah.
I mean, look at his last 10 opponents. Does Ferreira beat any of those fucking guys?
Kevin Holland. He probably beats Kevin Holland, but that's
I don't think so, dude. I think Kevin Holland. Well, at 185,
I mean, Kevin
at
Holland
185,
lost
you're
0.
probably right. He actually does beat Holland at 185.
But that and Carl Roberson. But that's it.
Okay, yeah, fair. Yeah, Roberson, not very good.
Yeah. Wait, that Roberson fight was 11 fights ago. So
yes,
scratch it.
That's total bullshit.
Scratch it. Just Kevin Holland. Doesn't count. 11 fights ago. My bad.
Yeah, it's an interesting. This is a weird fight. You said it perfectly. You said it perfectly. It's a weird fight.
It's so weird. Andre Fiallo, you are not durable, my friend. We've seen you get knocked out plenty of times.
Our guy, Andre Fiallo, always good to have him in the chat.
Oh, fan of the show. Fan of the show.
I'm going to fill up my water. Be right back, Brady.
All right. It's my honor to sponsor. Appreciate that, Freedom Guy. Appreciate that. Always good to have somebody sponsor the show. Are you from WikiFeed? Me? Or Freedom Guy? I'm not. All right. Let's move on to the next fight. And it's going to be Nazim Satakov going against Farazzian. We got Satakov, 31 years old, 5'10" with a 69-inch reach. Farazzian, 28 years old, 6'1" with a 75-inch reach. Zion, 3 years younger, 3-inch height advantage, and a 6-inch reach advantage. Satakov is 4-0 and 1 draw in his last 5 fights. Knockout win against Evan Elder. Submission win against Terrence McKenna. A draw against Slava Borshev. Knockout win against Ismail Bonfim. And then a knockout win against Nicholas Moda. As far as Zion, he's 5-0 in his last 5 fights. Decision win against Mikhail Figlak. Decision win against Shai Herbert. Decision win against Claudio Poyas. Knockout win against Matt Favola. And then a decision win against Mike Davis. So when I was on Twitter and I saw the fight announcement for this fight. I'm like, I see Nazim Satakov's fighting on 323. I'm pumped up. And then I see he's fighting Farazzian. And it's like, I'm not the biggest Farazzian fan. This guy, he's just so boring to me. I mean, this guy's a very, very technical striker. He's going to take absolute 0 risks. He's, rarely going to finish anybody unless your name's Matt Favola. But he's really good. I think Farazzian's really good. I think he's improved leaps and bounds. I think he's improved his grappling so much. But God, is he so boring to watch. Just very technical, tactician type fighter. Just fights very safe out there. And on the flip side, you got Nazim Satakov, who's the complete opposite. Satakov's not the best minute winner. He was losing, pretty badly actually to Ismail Bonfim prior to him landing that head kick. He almost got finished by Nicholas Moda. He was losing minutes to Slava Borshev. He was losing a lot of minutes to Evan Elder. I think he was even down maybe 2 rounds in that Elder fight. So he's not the best minute winner, and he's going against a great minute winner in Zion. It's just another weird fight to me, where you have Satakov, who's going to have to make this a little bit of a dogfight. I don't know. Does Zion get his fight, or does Satakov get his fight? Is this a clean, technical, slow-paced, boring fight, or is it a a Satakov dogfight. I don't know. It's another closely lined fight. I think Zayam's like minus 130. Satakov's plus 110. This line's been completely crashing down the last week and a half because Satakov was at plus 170, plus 155, I think just last week. So a lot of money's coming in on Satakov. And I don't know. I feel like I'm letting my bias get in the way a little bit because I hate Zayam, but boy, is he good. And it kind of feels like if I do bet on Satakov, it's going to be like a Zayam 29-28. And I'm just pissed the fuck off sitting in my seat, drinking a $20 beer. So I'm probably staying away from this one, especially after missing the line. Like if I didn't bet Satakov at plus 155, he's now plus 110. I'm probably fine with just sitting back and watching this one. But it's an interesting one. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how it plays out, but I'm just not sure I'm looking forward to, really betting on it. What are your thoughts on this fight, Weezy?
I think it's Zayam by decision or it's Satakov inside the distance. And I think that's a pretty clear way that the market's looking at it, Brady, if you just look at where these props are priced. Because Satakov's a slight underdog at plus 110, but his finish only prop is minus 200. So they're telling you that he's got 2/3 of the finish upside here, but he's got less than 50% of the win equity. So that also says that, with Zayam, you got a guy who's winning by decision most of the time. And with Satakov, you got a guy that's extremely durable. So I feel like Satakov inside the distance or a Satakov finish only prop at minus 200. The Satakov inside the distance is plus 225. That's how you play the Satakov side because I don't think he's going to win minutes in this fight, dude. Satakov does not wrestle enough. And you look at his last 5 fights. When have you ever seen this guy win minutes, right? He loses rounds 1 and 2 to Elder and then wins the 3rd because of a cut. Not because he had Elder hurt, not because like Elder was like in danger of losing the fight. It was because he landed a kick that cut Elder and then it was a doctor's stoppage. Satakov gets 10-8'd in round 1 against Terrence McKinney and then comes back and after Terrence gasses. He loses 2 out of the 3 rounds of the Borshev fight and 10-8's him in the second in order to get a draw there. Against Ismail Bonfim, the first round was close. I don't know who people would score that one for, but it was stopped after round 1 because Bonfim quit. And against Nick Moda, he nearly gets knocked out in the first round, loses the first round, and then comes back and wins the second. So this guy Satakov is absolutely dependent on winning moments. He needs to land that big shot. The problem is that Fares Zayam takes no damage, dude.
No risks.
He doesn't take risks. He uses his length extremely well. He counters constantly, so it's very hard to wind up being aggressive against him because there's always something coming back at you. Nothing's for free against Zayam. He's got a 69.8% distance striking defense. He only absorbs 2.8 distance strikes per minute, and he's never been knocked down in 9 UFC fights. This kid was a K1 world champion at the age of 20. He's a special fighter. He's not a fun fighter to watch.
No.
But oftentimes dominant fighters are not fun to watch because they're so defensively sound and they take so few dumb risks that they just wind up kind of coasting to victories. And for us, Zayam has 7 UFC victories. 6 of them are by decision. So with a guy like Satakov being as durable as he is, I think the best bet of the fight is going to be Zayam by decision at plus 125. I'm surprised we're getting that at plus money. I feel like it should be very close to his money line. And the difference between the minus 130 money line and the plus 125 decision prop is like 12% of implied probability, Brady. It's enough, I think, to take that leap. Trust the durability of Satakov. Trust the defense and minute-winning striking abilities of Zayam, and I think that's how this fight plays out.
Yeah. I could see a Zayam decision. I could see it. It's going to be tough to finish Zayam, though. Like, the one way you could finish him usually would be like the submission, but he's really improved that part of his game.
Yeah, and Satakov just doesn't wrestle much. That's the thing. He's not really going to be committed to the wrestling. He's going to be on that forward pressure. I love that about Satakov. He's extremely durable, so he can afford to pressure and look for big shots and be defensively irresponsible. But that defensive irresponsibility puts him in a position where he has to win the moments because he's so defensively bad that he's losing the minutes to good strikers like Borshev, like Moda, like Elder. right?
Yeah.
And Ziam's on the level of all of those guys in terms of striking. So yeah, I think it's going to be Ziam by decision here, dude.
Yeah, I hope he pulls out and we can get a fun fight.
Agreed.
I
I absolutely agree. Dude, Satakov tore the roof off of that Crystal Ball Palace in Azerbaijan.
It was amazing.
It was incredible. That fight was absolutely incredible. And now you give him Fares Ziam? It's like, what? Like, maybe in France, but not in Vegas. You could give this guy anybody in the goddamn division, and you give him Ziam on a pay-per-view card at the T-Mobile Arena in Vegas? Come on. Like, the matchmakers, in my opinion, have done a phenomenal job on this card. This is the one that's a little bit weird.
I know. Like I was saying, like I saw the fight was announced, and I'm like, yes, Satakov. No, Ziam.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's like, dude, give Satakov Bobby Green. That'd be a fun fight. Bobby Green's looking for a fight right now. Give him Bobby Green. What's Bobby Green up to right now? We need Zion to pull out with like an illness. Who else? We can give Satakov. Oh, I don't know. What's Mateusz Rebecki doing? That guy likes to fight every month. What's Rebecki doing, man?
That would be an awesome fight. Both guys that don't take a backward step. Both guys that are extremely durable and have a ton of heart. That would have been an amazing fight.
They need to hire me as a match. I'd be like, okay, Nazim Satakov versus Drew Dober. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Satakov versus Dober. Like, come on.
And Dober would sign on to that in a heartbeat.
I know. There's just so many good matchups you can make, and you put Zion on there. It's like, God, he's really good. Just like William Gomi, you know? William Gomi is a really good fighter. Don't get me wrong, you know? But, God, I just don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy watching it. But,
dude, you know, and just one more thing. Fares Ziam, over 9 UFC fights and 2 hours in the UFC octagon. 2 hours.
Oh, God.
This guy is absorbing 1.6 significant strikes per minute over a 2-hour sample size. I say it over and over again, and I will continue saying it. Dominant fighters don't take damage.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true, man. Brady has a 4.87 on WikiView. That's impressive. I don't know about that.
Out of 20. Fucking guy played basketball his whole life. I'm sure his feet look like Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh, nobody's looks like Shaquille O'Neal with that big toe. Oh, Zion by decision. Yeah, you said it's like plus 125. Zion KO would be wild because Nazim just has so much freaking heart and toughness. Zion KO is plus 600. Don't take the VIG, take Zion by decision. Yeah, if I was betting Zion, I'd bet him by decision. Absolutely. Yeah. $20 beer. I lied. It's actually more than $20. Like with tax and everything, we're looking at like $25 a beer at the team.
You bought a Modelo in Chicago, and I think you said it cost you $26.
Yeah, plus tip. It's like,
because you tipped the guy too. I mean, but like
so much.
I remember being like, "What?" I felt so old, dude.
It was a good Modelo though, at least. But gosh, those add up absolutely. The name Smile Killer is so. I mean, you got to take out the name Killer. Just you can be Smile. Smile. I like it. Fares Smile Zion. He kills the smiles of the crowd. I can go take a bathroom break or go get like a $20 beer. There we go. No, I'm hoping it's a fun fight. I'm hoping Nazim makes it a fun fight is what I'm kind of hoping. But it could also be just a very frustrating fight for both Satakov, I think, and Satakov bettors as well type thing. Give him me. Yeah, different weight classes, but he'd probably.
You got to get Andre Fialho on the show. How in the world did this guy get cut with all that talent?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Has he woken up yet? Oh wait, he has. He's right here.
He's right here.
Satakov second round KO. Yeah, it's a shame that they're all over that finish. Only minus 200. They're a shame. What a shame. Good for them. Tipping at the stadium goes directly to the stadium, not the bartender. Well, I felt bad. They look at you. They look at you and they stare down at the screen, and it's like, I feel bad.
That's definitely not the case, by the way.
Yeah,
definitely not the case. There is, you would be in a line a mile long with literally nobody working it. If those guys were getting 0 tips, there's nobody showing up to the United Center to serve a bunch of drunk UFC fans for fucking 0 tips and $12 an hour. I promise you that.
Yeah, you would hope not. Gentlemen, it's T-Rex fight week. That it is, man. That it is. I'm looking forward to it. All right, let's keep moving on to the next fight. We have Macy Barber going against Karina Killer Silva. We got Macy Barber, 27 years old, 5'5" with a 65-inch reach. Karina Silva, 32 years old, 5'5" with a 67-inch reach. Barber, 5 years younger, same height. Silva with a 2-inch reach advantage. Barber is 5-0 in her last 5 fights. A decision win against Montana De La Rosa. A decision win against Jessica Ai, decision win against Andrea Lee, knockout win against Amanda Hebos, and then a decision win against Caitlin Chukagian. As far as Karina Silva, a 4-1 in her last 5 fights, submission win against the very handsome Ketlin Souza, submission win against Marina Moroz, decision win against Ariana Lipsky, decision loss to Viviane Araújo, and then a decision win against Diana Barbosa. So this is another fight where I think I'm probably going to stay away just because of, the amount of massive red flags on the Barber side, they just can't be ignored. Like, it's hard to, tape the fight and look at the fight stylistically when there's just so much stuff on the Barber side that's just horrible. I mean, she just pulled out of a fight. Well, she didn't just pull out of a fight. She pulled out of the fight, how long? A couple months ago at this point?
Yeah, 4 or 5 months ago. Here, let me look. Let me look and see how long ago it was, but while you keep talking.
Yeah, like a couple months ago. And then she hasn't
Yeah, Macy Barber pulled out May 31st. So, yeah, it's been about 6 months since she pulled out of the Blanchfield fight. And it looks like we lost Brady to a little bit of freezing there. So, yeah.
I think I'm back, right?
Yep, now you're back. Let
me turn off my it's already off. Anyway, yeah, so she pulled out of
Damn it. Come on, Brady. Come
back. Am I back?
Yeah, now you're back again. Yeah, you froze again, though. You froze right when you started talking again. Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah. Am I back?
You keep freezing, dude.
Okay. Here we go.
Okay.
Am I good?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to start talking again.
You're good?
Okay, here we go. Anyway, Macy Barber.
Oh, come on.
What?
You're fucking still cutting out, dude. Just go out and come back in.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I'll
Macy
stay
Barber,
in here.
okay.
I'll keep talking, man.
All right, Macy Barber. Here we go.
Yeah. So, yeah, the thing about this fight that makes it difficult to gamble on is obviously because Macy Barber, there's a lot of unknowns. Her last fight was literally March of 2024. She had to pull out of the Rose Namajunas fight in July of 2024. Then she wasn't scheduled to fight for another 10 and a half months in the Erin Blanchfield fight. She pulls out of that fight too. So here we are now on December 6th. She hasn't fought since March 9th of 2024. This is a 1 year and 4 month layoff for Macy Barber. And Brady, what did happen? Like what happened to Macy on that night?
I'm scared to talk now. People were saying she had like a seizure.
Okay, because I'm hearing that she was getting ready to walk out. She has the seizure. She wakes up in the hospital and thinking that she had fought.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
That's fucking terrifying.
It's bad.
That's because of not any damage taken. You know, that's really weird. So she's a 27-year-old young woman having seizures that have causing her to black out and then not lose time. That's just not good, dude.
Yeah. I'll tell you what is good.
What's that?
Her Wiki Feet score.
What is it?
It's 4.83. And I'll tell you, we've looked at a lot of feet on this show.
4.83. Is it worth the rating?
Oh yeah, I'd even rate it a little bit higher.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll take your word for it, man. I'm not on WikiFeet right now, so I can't confirm nor deny.
Let's see. Karina Silva. Oh God, 4.07. So
not as good. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I'm not touching this fight, man. It's like, how do we? It's hard to know where Macy Barber's at. Like, is she okay? Like, is she good? Because if not, I mean, you're going against the killer, right?
Yeah, and I hate betting on fights where there are narrative issues.
There's a big one here.
Yeah, where you're kind of left to wonder what is the answer to this question, because without that answer to that question, you don't really know how they're going to perform on fight night. And you know what she's already underwent. She's had a knee reconstruction. You know, now she's had a seizure that caused her to pull out of this fight. I don't know what the reason was for pulling out of the Rose Namajunas fight, but she was the one who withdrew from it. So yeah, a year, like an 18-month layoff, Brady. Not good.
No, it's not good. Silva by finish. Trust me. If you know, you know. I mean, now I was kind of looking at the Silva finish only.
Yeah.
I think minus 150, because if it turns out Macy's coming in here like compromised, or God forbid she has a seizure during the fight, you know, we could see Silva finish, like a submission or something. So I think
I like unders too.
Yeah, the finish only potentially minus 150. Yeah, Barber minus 175, Silva plus 150. But yeah, with all the things surrounding Barber, I just can't get to minus 175 on her.
Agreed. I just think it's you know, and I'm not really jazzed to bet on Karine Silva either. I mean, she barely beat Diani Barbosa. Oh. I had her as the ass shaving of the week. I thought she was going to run through Barbosa. There was nowhere close to running through her. And as a matter of fact, I think you can make a pretty good argument that Barbosa won that fight. So I don't really want to bet on Karine Silva either, because if we're getting the best version of Macy Barber here, if we're getting a healthy version of her, she's won a ton of fights at this level. She's very difficult to deal with in the clinch, very aggressive. The pressure is tough to deal with. So I think that she's, you know, got certain paths to victory in this fight. But I think that Barber could get a knockout. That's plus 550. I think Karine Silva could find a submission against anybody, and she's got serious power on the feet. So I kind of feel like with the narrative issues, the best bet on this fight is like the under 2.5 rounds at plus 200. It's a trifecta on my prop betting model. It's underpriced when you compare the price of the line to the benchmark for the division. It's underpriced when you compare the price of the line to their combined performance for under 2.5 rounds, which is 7 of 17 fights, or 41%. So I think it's a good value bet that is underpriced according to just the prior statistics, as well as I think that either one of these ladies could find a finish because of some of the narrative issues that are surrounding this fight, as well as the nasty submission game that Silva has and the big power that Barber has on the feet.
Yeah, I kind of want to see Barber on the scales, kind of see how she looks. If she looks like crap, I might just take a shot on like Silva sub or something, or like the under. If she looks terrible.
Yeah, she could absolutely look terrible. We're gonna have to see, man. It's gonna be wild.
Yeah, I kind of want to wait till weigh-in day to kind of see if I'll do anything on this fight. Where as of now, I'm not touching this fight.
Yeah.
Every time I say she's pulling out, I don't know what was going on. It was really weird. The bookies know that we are nailing this Barber fight. Maybe Macy via higher WikiFeed score. That's all the breakdown we need. Yeah, if this fight was based off of WikiFeed, I mean, Barber would be minus 400. Looking at feed picks in 4K. There you go. Picking Silva against Barber only because Barber has more red flags than hot yoga teacher with mental and financial issues. It's a lot of red flags.
Yeah.
Sprinkle Silva finish or pass. Karine Silva by blackout 2,400. Come on. Brady's wife is a nurse. Does she know if a seizure is bad before a fight? I would ask her when she's sleeping. I would assume that's pretty bad. And like Weezy said, waking up and thinking she fought. Like, that's not good. Weezy, do you have any stats on women who fight after certain augmentation surgeries?
Yeah, so who's gotten them? Because we know that Macy got them. I think I remember Pearl Gonzalez got them back in the day. And I think a couple others have gotten them too. Did Andrea Lee get them?
I don't know.
Fuck, I don't remember, but yeah, I don't think it's good.
Yeah.
Misha Tate? Did Misha Tate?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. Isaac Bulgarian, I've trained in gyms with Macy, and I can't tell you. I can tell you she isn't there for MMA. If you know, you know. Is this the real Isaac Bulgarian then?
Probably not. I mean,
think it might be.
But like Macy trained up there, you know, with the Factory X people. With I think she did.
I think it might be Isaac.
She's been there. She's been at Valley Flow. She's been at Team Alpha Male. She's trained at a bunch of different places.
So this is the real Isaac Bulgarian. That's pretty crazy. Fan of the show, Isaac Bulgarian. Pretty cool. The data is clear. Flat chest, the best space for MMA. Tits job, huge handicap. She went from the future UFC gatekeeper to the future bare knuckle and BKFC co-headliner. Yeah, I guess she did get like a boob job or something.
I guess so. I don't know why. It's like you're a fighter. Why would you do that?
Yeah, I don't know. I know Karina Silva's not getting boob jobs.
I don't think so.
She's a killer.
Yeah. She's augmenting her opponent's bodies and not in good ways.
Seizure from bad weight cut, and yeah, she did look pretty bad on the scale. I remember that fight.
Did she miss weight there too?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh,
she missed weight. She weighed in at 126.5, so she cut all the way down to the hardest pound, which is the last pound, and then had to stop. So yeah, that could have been it. It could have been a really bad weight cut, and having whatever extra in her chest that is there now because of the augmentation might have been the difference there. So yeah, it might have been a really bad move for her.
Yep. We'll see on Friday. I kind of want to see how she looks, so we'll see. All right, moving on. Okay, it's the people's main event. I mean, I'm so excited for this fight. We got Terrence McKinney going against Chris Duncan. We got Terrence McKinney, 31 years old, 5'10" with a 73-inch reach. Chris Duncan, 32 years old, 5'10" with a 71-inch reach. McKinney 1 year younger, same height. We got McKinney with a 2-inch reach advantage. Terrence McKinney is 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Knockout win against Mike Breeden. Knockout win against Brandon Murat. Knockout loss to Esteban Ribovics. Knockout win against Damir Hadzovic. A submission win against Slava Borshev. As far as Chris Duncan, 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Decision win against Yanal Ashmos. Submission loss to Manuel Torres. Submission win against Balaji Oki. Submission win against Jordan Vucenic. And a decision win against Mateusz Rambecki. So yeah, this is phenomenal matchmaking. We talked about how a little bit of BS matchmaking with the Satakov Zion fight. This is great matchmaking. This is what I would do. If I was a matchmaker, I'd be like, okay, I'm taking Terrence McKinney and I'm giving him Chris Duncan. You know, I mean, that's a phenomenal fight. It's a car crash of the highest degree. You know, we know how McKinney's going to come fight. You know, you go watch McKinney's fights, right? Go watch all 24 of his fights. In 23 of those 24 fights, he's fighting like an absolute wild man. He's fighting like he's triple parked. He's getting in, he's getting out. There was one fight, Wheezy, where McKinney said, "Hey, I'm gonna slow it down a little bit, right? I'm gonna slow it down a little bit." And he still gassed out and got knocked out against the bad Bonfim. It was hilarious. It was absolutely hilarious. He was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna slow it down," and he still was completely death gassed and runs right into a knee. And then after that Bonfim fight, he's like, "Okay, back to the old McKinney." And yeah, his fights are finishing quickly. So it's a fight where it's like, I think you have to favor Duncan just because he has so many more ways to win. With that said, like, would anybody be surprised if McKinney knocked out Duncan early? No. Maybe submitted Duncan early? No. I mean, I think McKinney has a 2.5 minute window to do so, but that's the thing. A 2.5 minute window. Terrence McKinney, Weezy, has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 losses between Contender Series and UFC. In all 5 of those fights, the fight went over 2.5 rounds and he lost. Every other fight he won, it went under a half a round. under a half a round. So if the fight is going over one half of a round, 2 minutes and 30 seconds, he's losing the fight. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy to think about. So I think if you bet McKenna, maybe bet McKenna like under half of a round. And I think that's kind of how I'd bet McKenna. But if Duncan can survive the first like 2.5 minutes, he's going to win. McKenna's going to be exhausted. McKenna has horrible durability. I mean, McKenna's durability is awful. Yeah. He's been finished like more than Matt Schnell at this point. So, yeah, I don't know. I like violence here first and foremost. I lean Duncan, but at the same time, would it shock me if McKenna got an early finish? No, it wouldn't. But I'm looking forward to this fight. I think somebody's probably getting sent to the hospital.
Yeah, and it'll be the people that bet the over, because they're not going to be happy with the results of it, So, yeah, I mean, it's a McKenna fight. You don't need, professional cappers breaking this down. It's McKenna in the first 3 minutes, or Chris Duncan wins, and even Chris Duncan could find an early finish here because Terrence McKinney's been knocked out 5 times as a professional, and they're brutal. It's not like, he's kind of getting like ground and pounded and just kind of covering up. And no, dude, like that head kick from Ribovics was a life changer. That knee that he walked onto from Sean Woodson was a life changer. I mean, like these knockouts.
The Bonfim knockout loss.
Oh my God, dude. That one, like I seriously thought he was dead there for a second. The way that he slumped down, I mean, he fell face first. That was nasty. So, yeah, I mean, like you can't even really call McKenna like chinny at this point as much as like, dude, the guy's taken a ton of damage, a ton. Even the Dober knockout was nasty. So, I think Terrence McKinney's path here is that he's going to want to be grappling Chris Duncan. I mean, the one time that we've seen Chris Duncan lose in the UFC, it was because he got his back taken and got finished by somebody that shouldn't be finishing with submissions in Manuel Torres. So I think that's McKinney's path. McKinney's got elite wrestling, and I loved watching him chain submissions together in the Borshov fight. Now, obviously, Chris Duncan's a better grappler than Borshov is. But at the same time, we've seen Chris Duncan lose that way, and we know how dangerous McKinney is early in fights, especially when he can get you to the ground and start to get to a dominant position. He's very aggressive looking to finish fights because he's not really comfortable in there. He's a killer be killed fighter. He doesn't want to be in there for more than a couple of minutes. So, yeah, I think you have to favor Duncan because that McKinney's got only this much time to finish somebody. And if they're like, I bet on Borshov against McKinney, not because I thought he was a better fighter. I just thought that, hey, Slava's fucking durable. He's really tough to get out of there. So if you don't get him out of there early, what was going to happen there. He was going to absolutely maul him after he gassed out. Well, he didn't make it the 3 minutes because he got taken down 10 seconds into the fight and then was mounted 20 seconds into the fight. So of course it ended. So yeah, I think it's McKinney in the first 3 minutes or Chris Duncan any point in the fight, So I think you have to make Duncan the favorite here. I'm fine with him being at least minus 150 in this spot. And if I'm betting that McKinney side, I would just bet round 1 submission. I don't think he's going to knock him out. I think if he even lands a big shot, he's going to finish him with a submission on the ground because Duncan's extremely durable. So even if you knock him down, I don't think you're going to knock him out. And I think the way to get him out of there is to actually choke him out because you can't, fight through that. Your brain's going to need blood. So, I think McKinney first round sub, I think is something like plus 540 on Bet Online. And I think that's the way that I would play the McKinney side. And then for Duncan, I would say Duncan rounds 1 or 2. I think that's when he gets him out of there. Under 1.5 is minus 340, Brady. And to give you a little bit of minus 340, it was minus 320 last I looked. So just to give you a little bit of perspective of how crazy that is, that's a 77% implied probability at minus 340. Only 32% of men's lightweight fights finish under 1.5 rounds. So that prop at minus 340 is priced as 45% more expensive than the long-term trend for the division, which is 931 fight sample size.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that much. I mean, I like the under at like minus 240. I was kind of surprised that much money's came in on the under because people love betting overs in McKenna fights. It's like so weird. It's like every time he fights, people are betting the over. I'm like, what are you doing?
So there's always a big plus money number on it, so I think some people get tempted by that.
And then you watch the first 60 seconds, like this is not going over. But yeah, I think there might be some more buyback on the over throughout the week. I don't think it's going to close minus 340. It's minus 400 on some books, the under. So I don't know. Yeah, I bet the McKenna sub before. It wasn't fun. It wasn't a fun experience for me personally. I bet the sub prop against Damir Hadzovic.
Yeah, I know, man.
And he TKO'd him. But yeah, McKenna. I think McKenna in under a half a round could be interesting, depending on the line. Because you can get really good odds on those under half a round same game parlays. Like even the dude last week who was a minus 1,000 favorite, him in under a half a round was like plus 240, and he was minus 1,000.
He nuked him 8 seconds into that fight with that head kick, and it's like, boy, this is over.
Yes, you might get like a big plus money number on McKenna under half a round. I mean, you would think they're probably on to it, but we'll see. We'll see what they do. All right. What are you guys liking for this fight here? McKenna first round submission. Yeah, could be in play. I do think Duncan's like improved the grappling so much. I mean, this guy Duncan's working with guys like Grant Dawson every single day, you know, getting that South Florida sun. I think it's going to be tough, really tough to submit Chris Duncan. Duncan by KO, second round. The FBI will get involved if this goes over. Yeah, I agree. Duncan is willing to go into the fire. Yeah, that's why I like this fight. Duncan's not a bitch, man. He's gonna stand and swing dicks with McKenna. I truly think somebody might get stretchered out of this fight. Coin flip. The EV is on McKenna. McKenna has the fight IQ of a Boondocks character. That's not good. I haven't watched many Boondocks, but I know that's not good. Duncan could sub McKenna. Yeah, Duncan could sub him. He has a phenomenal guillotine, apparently. Chris Duncan. Just a phenomenal guillotine. Round one, like I said, too. Problem is Duncan is sort of chinny, too. He got dropped against, was it Charlie Campbell?
Charlie Campbell had him in some trouble. Hell yeah.
And then Borshev. Yeah, he could. McKenna round one was like plus one. It's not plus 100 for this fight. Oh, not for this fight, right? McKenna round
like it couldn't be. You're getting more plus money than that on the money line.
Okay, it's plus 200.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which is funny because he's plus 140. That's hilarious.
They know, dude. They know.
That's funny. McKenna round one is plus 200. Money line's plus 160 on somebody. Yeah, his round one prop should be pretty much close to his money line. That's hilarious. All right. Yeah, looking forward to that fight. And I'm looking forward to this fight just as much. I mean, Grant Dawson versus Manuel Loco Torres. We got Grant Dawson, 31 years old, 5'10" with a 72-inch reach. Manuel Loco Torres, 30 years old, 5'10" with a 73-inch reach. We got Dawson, 4-1 in his last 5 fights. A decision win against Damir Ismagulov. A knockout loss to Bobby Green, a decision win against Joe Selecki, knockout win against Rafa Garcia, and a decision win against Carlos Diego Ferreira. As far as Manuel Torres, he has 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Knockout win against Frank Camacho in the first round. Knockout win against Nicholas Mota. And submission win against Chris Duncan. Knockout loss against Ignacio Bahamondes, and then a knockout win against Drew Dober. So I think this is a pretty simple fight to break down. I mean, it kind of is a little bit like the McKenna fight to an extent, but it's like when Manuel Torres is winning fights, he's winning fights literally in the first 2.5 minutes, just like Terrence McKenna. You know, I put the numbers together. McKenna's won 15 of his 17 fights in the first 2.5 minutes. Manuel Torres, 14 of his 16 fights have came in the first 2.5 minutes. The fights that didn't was a decision that he had back in the day. And then the Camacho fight lasted like 3 minutes, right? So when Manuel Torres is winning, he's winning fights very early. And if I'm betting Torres here, I'm betting Torres in the first like 60 seconds. I'm betting Torres in the first 2.5 minutes, because if he doesn't win in the first 2.5 minutes, we know what's going to happen, right? He's going to get taken down, and he's going to get milked. He's gonna drown. Grant Dawson is going to drown him. So yeah, I mean, I think unless Grant Dawson gets sparked in the first couple minutes, like this should be Dawson. I think he has a lot more ways to win. I think Dawson has improved so much since moving to American Top Team. I think his cardio is looking a lot better. He's now starting to implement some ground and pound, and we know that ground and pound is going to open up, submission attempts, and we saw what he did to Rafa Garcia. So, yeah, Manuel Torres early, Dawson, I think it could be early as well, or if this fight gets extended, you got to heavily favor a guy like Grant Dawson. So I like Dawson here, but I'll be looking at like Torres early props. And it's kind of a shame, man. Like I was hoping that we get a playable under, but it's not really a playable under. The under 1.5 rounds is -150. And I truly thought it'd be much better than that, considering Grant Dawson goes over 1.5 in like every fight. I mean, you have the numbers, right? Like
9 of 12.
9 of like why do we have to lay -150 on it? I get it. It's Manuel Torres. I get it. But come on, give us a break, man. Give us a break. So I'm going to be playing some sort of violence. I'm going to attack it some sort of way. I'm not sure I'm going to do it yet, but I like Dawson here. The more I thought about it, the more I kind of like Dawson a decent amount, because I just think the win condition for Torres is like an early finish, and I think he's not going to stuff takedowns here. I think he's really going to have to clip Dawson like in the first 30 seconds to 60 seconds before Dawson gets him down. I think one takedown is just like a snowball effect of him getting drowned there. So, yeah, I mean, we could see a Bobby Green situation, even though that fight was fixed. Bobby Green showed up at the next press conference with wads and wads of cash. We know that. We know it was fixed. But, yeah, Torres early, Dawson whenever. What are your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if the Bobby Green fight never happened, and I saw Grant Dawson in this fight at -190, it would have been a 5-unit bet.
I agree.
Because you would have never even had that him getting knocked out in the first round thing ever in your mind, And I mean, you want to talk about one of the most dominant fighters in the history of the fucking division. It's Grant Dawson. Look at these numbers. He's absorbing only 2.2 significant strikes per minute. He only spends 26% of his UFC octagon time at distance striking range. The other 74% of his time is spent in control time positions. He's winning over 91% of those positions. He's finishing fights with ground and pound and rear naked chokes. And this guy, I mean, how many rounds has Grant Dawson lost in the UFC? He lost round 1 against Bobby Green. He lost round 3 against Rick Glenn. He had close rounds against the old guy that got knocked out by Clay Guida that we lost money on.
Santos, right?
Santos. Yeah, the Santos fight was very close. He knocked him out in the 3rd round with ground and pound with like 5 seconds left.
Mm-hmm.
But like Grant Dawson's winning every other round. There's really not even 29-28s in some of these fights that are going to decision for him. So, I feel like Torres only has a puncher's chance here.
Yeah.
And the other thing about Torres is that he's so loco, Brady.
Oh, God, yeah.
He's so loco. He throws 100% power into all of his strikes. And because of that, he's like ridiculously sloppy. And if you go out there trying to take Dawson's head off, he's just going to duck under, get in on your hips, and put you on your ass. And if you get sloppy trying to get back to your feet and you give up your back against this guy, that's the round of the fight. And I just think the takedowns are going to be super easy for Grant Dawson. And I think once he gets him down, he's going to show that there's a massive level in the grappling, credentials of Torres compared to Dawson here. And I think Dawson's going to either finish him in round 1 or 2 with a rear naked choke or with ground and pound. I think he's going to run through him.
Yeah.
But it's possible. If this loco dude touches you just once, I mean, if Bobby Green is just sleeping you, what's Loco Torres going to do to you if he connects?
Yep.
Like he permanently rearranged Nick Moda's face. He like one of the first people to really just knock out Drew Dober clean. It hadn't been done in a very long time. And then Torres lands 1-1-2 and the guy's sleepy time. So I think that there's some ways here, obviously, that Torres can catch this dude. We've seen it happen before, but I just think Grant's going to probably make this look really easy. And I want to lay like 3 units on this, on the Dawson money line, Brady. What's keeping me from doing it is knowing that if I were to lose the bet, it's going to look awful.
Yeah.
If you lay 3 units on Grant Dawson and it goes tits up against Manny Torres, that people are going to be like, yeah, great pick. He got knocked out in the first round, because that's what's going to happen. That's how he's going to lose this fight.
But he could also look minus 1,000,
I know. So it's, sometimes you got to be willing to just say, like, if you're writing up the bet, hey, guys, I know that this could go tits up in 30 seconds. But if it doesn't, I think Grant Dawson's going to look minus 500 here. I think he's easily going to get the takedowns. He's easily going to dominate this dude on the ground. I mean, look at the grapplers that he's fought. Like Grant Dawson is out there dominating Damir Ismagulov, Jared Gordon, Leonardo Santos, Joe Solecki. Diego Ferreira has a win over Gary Tonin in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and he's just melting him on the ground. 6 takedowns and 11 minutes of control time, outlands him 30-4 in significant ground strikes. He's doing that to Diego Ferreira. So imagine what he's going to do to Torres when he gets him down.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I wish the under was a better line. Like, I agree. Like, it probably should be minus 150 because, he's, meanwhile, he's loco, right? He's going to make mistakes. He's not going to sit on his ass like Joe Solecki. Remember when Joe Solecki just sat on his ass for 15 minutes? Manuel Loco, he's gonna get up. He's gonna give up his back. He's gonna give up his neck. He's gonna make mistakes. So I actually think Dawson could actually finish him in the first. I know Dawson's like a 2-3 guy. It wouldn't shock me in the slightest if Dawson like finished him in the first round. I wish the under was playable. Hopefully money comes in on the over throughout the week. I'm just really like the under's getting smashed. It's just getting obliterated. It was plus 161.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now it's minus 150, right?
Yeah, minus 150 now in a Grant Dawson fight.
Yeah. And that's funny. You know what? You want to hear something hilarious? What? Grant Dawson, 12 UFC fights that have been scheduled for 3 rounds, right?
Yeah.
None of those fights have finished in round 1.
Wow.
Manny Torres, 5 UFC fights, all 5 end in round 1.
Mm-hmm.
So something's got to give here.
Someone's got to give. Yeah. I'm gonna definitely have action on this fight. I'm thinking of some different ways to attack it, but gosh, they're sharp, man. The fight doesn't go minus 600. Jeez, give us a break, would you? The under 2.5
hits, but come on,
under 2.5 rounds, minus 257. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Dawson threw that fight. Yeah. I mean, Bobby Green showed up with like a bunch of jewelry on, like expensive rings, necklaces. Remember the biggest wad of cash you'd ever see at the press conference after that Dawson fight, and then after the Pimblett fight, even more cash. It's like, where are you getting this cash, Bobby Green? Where are you getting this cash? We are on to you. We know dang well you just cashed a big KO1 ticket because Bobby Green KO1 had to have been like plus 2,500 against Dawson. And then he cashed, of course, a Patty sub 1 ticket as well. Bobby Green cashing a lot of big tickets. I can never forget Dawson getting finished with a jab by Bobby Green, no matter how dominant he's been. His chin is always a liability. Yeah, and that's why he's not like minus 400 here. When was the last time Dawson got a sub? The last time Dawson got a sub was against
Mark Madsen in November of 2022. Since then, he's had 4 wins. 3 of them were by decision. But look at the level of grappler. Damir Ismagulov, Joe Solecki, Diego Ferreira. But he brutalized Rafa Garcia, who, by the way, is 9-0 to the submission as a professional. So Rafa Garcia is a good grappler. Yeah. He fucking destroyed Rafa on the ground. Knocked out Leonardo Santos with ground and pound. Just destroyed Minner, Trizano, Adrian Diaz.
Yeah, Dawson's ground game is no joke. If Torres doesn't slime out Grant Dawson, I might hop the fence and slime him out myself, okay? What does that even mean? It sounds like something Colton G would say. Isn't slime out Grant? He's gonna hop the fence and slime out Grant Dawson. I wouldn't do that, buddy. I wouldn't try to slime out Grant Dawson.
He's gonna take you down, take your back, and choke you out. Who you kidding?
Gonna smother you. We need a sliming of the week. We do. We tried a pegging of the week, but it lost. So we scratched the pegging. It was one and done. 0-1. We cut it. It was Jacqueline Amarim versus Mizuki Inoue, which, by the way, can't wait to see Mizuki come back in 2029. But yeah, sliming of the week. We'll see. We'll see. All right, so I'm looking forward to these two fights in a row: McKenna, Duncan, and then right after that we get Dawson Torres. I mean, that's really good, really good. So I guess the Dawson fight is the featured prelim currently. And then we're going to open the main card here with Jan Blahovich versus Bogdan Guskov. Before we get into this fight, if you guys have not already, be sure to smash the like button. We are at 84 likes. So let's try to get 16 more. Subscribe. We go live every Monday at 10:15 p.m. Eastern time. We are never a second late. I think we actually started a couple minutes earlier tonight, actually. Yeah, I think like 5 to 10 minutes earlier tonight. Yeah, we're always on time. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on all the content. All right. I feel like we're going to have a lot to say on this one. It is Jan Blahovich versus Uncle Weezy's favorite fighter, Bogdan Guskov. We got Blahovich, 42 years old, 6'2" with a 78-inch reach. Bogdan Guskov, 33 years old, 6'3" with a 76-inch reach. Guskov is 9 years younger. 1-inch height advantage for Guskov and a 2-inch reach disadvantage. Blahovich is 1-3-1 draw in his last 5 fights. Submission loss to Glover Teixeira. Knockout win against Alexander Rakic. Draw against Ankalaev. Decision loss against Pereira. Decision loss against Carlos Olberg. As far as Guskov, he is 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Made his debut against Volkan Ozdemir. Lost that fight by submission. Then knocked out Zach Pauga. Ryan Spann. Submitted Billy Elikana. And then knocked out Nikita Krylov. So, yeah, kind of like the Vettori Ferrer fight. It's like, geez. Like, if this fight was a couple years ago, I would be just max betting Jan Blahovich. Simple as like if this fight, if Blahovich was like 39, it'd be a max bet, right? Just because God, like he's literally better everywhere. And he's the better striker, better volume, better defensively, more tools on the feet. He has probably just as much power. He has all the grappling upside, all the wrestling upside. He's fought the much better competition by a mile. He's lost, 3 of his last 5 fights, but holy crap, Glover Teixeira, former champion, Alex Pereira, current champion, Carlos Olberg going to be fighting for a championship next year, had a draw with Ankalaev, former champion. It's like he's still fighting at a very high level, even at 40 years old, but he's 40 years old. He's 42 now, almost 43 years old, which has to make him one of the oldest fighters on the roster. And Guskov, he's on a nice little streak here, but he knocked out Zach Pauga, who's cut and has no chin. He knocked out Ryan Spann, who has 1 round of cardio. He submitted Billy Elikana, who took the fight on a couple days' notice, and then he knocked out a completely washed Nikita Krylov. If he beats Jan Blahovich, old or not, it's going to be Guskov's best win by a pretty decent margin. And I got to give Guskov credit because I kind of thought this guy was a fraud. I kind of thought this guy was a phony. I remember him coming into the Ozdemir fight, and it was like a pick 'em. I was like, why is this a pick 'em? Like, Ozdemir should destroy this guy. Like, this line makes no sense whatsoever. And Ozdemir just destroys him, knocks him down, submits him. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of how I expected to play out. But I really didn't expect him to go out and get 4 wins in the UFC. So he's definitely proved me wrong a couple times. I thought Krylov would probably try to wrestle. I think that'd be smart. He didn't, got knocked out. But yeah, I think Blahovich has some ways to win this fight. I think he's the better striker, better winner on the feet. I think he has some grappling upside, but the age is kind of the one thing that makes me say, What are your thoughts on this fight?
God damn it. I kind of feel like even if Jan Blahovich was 52 years old, I'd still have to bet on him. Like, come on, man. This Guskov guy, he's not it. Yeah. He's not it, dude. It's not him, man. Zach Pauga, I don't care that he won that fight. I just don't care, Ryan Spann, I mean, he looked like George St. Pierre in round number 1 against Bogdan Guskov, and then shot 0 takedowns and gassed out and gave up and lost the fight. Billy Alicana, on less than 1 week's notice, goes out there, gets a takedown, takes this guy's back, and easily wins the first round against him, and then completely gasses out and gets finished. And then Nikita Krylov, in perhaps some of the most inexplicable fight IQ decisions, goes out there and shoots 0 fucking takedowns against Bogdan Guskov, a guy whose numbers were indicating that he would absolutely grapple. You know, every fight that I've ever seen Nikita Krylov, he just puts a pace on you, and the offensive wrestling is part of that pace. And Krylov had a 2-year layoff, serious shoulder surgery, and just came back looking turbo washed. And that was before the Guskov fight. Then he kind of let everybody know, no, I'm not maybe washed. I'm definitely washed in the Guskov fight. So I never started thinking that this guy was good. I've always just kind of felt like he's getting matched up against guys that just aren't it. And say what you will about the 42-year-old Jan Blahovich, but this guy could literally be 4-0 in his last 4 fights. He beats Rakic. He arguably beats Magomed Ankalaev over 5 rounds. A lot of people thought he won that fight, including me. He arguably beats Alex Pereira. He definitely wins round 1 against Pereira. Round 2 is close, and round 3 is a 50-50 round, right? And Pereira gets the nod. It could have went either way. I wasn't saying he got robbed, but he could have beaten Alex Pereira just 2 fights ago. And then the Alberg fight. The Alberg fight was 50-50. Kind of hard to know who won that fight. I don't have a problem with the decision, but, you know, Alberg runs through Guskov. Alex Pereira, can you imagine what Alex Pereira would do to fucking Bogdan Guskov? What Magomed Ankalaev would do to Bogdan Guskov? I mean, Glover Teixeira is like 50. He would kill Bogdan Guskov tomorrow. So I just feel like if I don't have a big bet here on Jan and he does what I think he's going to do, which is make this look fucking easy, I'm going to be so mad at myself. But it's so hard to back a 42-year-old fighter. This guy hasn't won in how long?
A long time.
It's been a long time since the Rakic fight, and the only reason he won that fight was because of a knee injury for Rakic. That fight was 1-1 going into the third. So, I mean, like, as many good reasons as there are to back Blahovich here, you could just see Guskov landing a big shot, Blahovich refusing to wrestle for some reason, and just fucking walking onto something stupid. You know, but I mean, I feel like Jan should absolutely win this fight.
Yeah,
and if he doesn't, I'm going to be saying, how does he keep getting away with this?
Well, guess what? If
getting
Guskov,
away with this,
if Guskov wins this fight, he's going to be a top 5 light heavyweight. Blahovich is currently ranked number 5. Can you imagine that? Bogdan Guskov, number 5 light heavyweight.
I mean, Bogdan Guskov was a bigger underdog against Ryan Spann than he is against Jan Blahovich right now. I mean, like, how do you equate that in your mind? You would have to be thinking that Jan's just showing up for a paycheck here, that he has no interest in winning, that he's just showing up for a paycheck. I mean, and if that's the case, then fine. But there's no way he's a better fighter than Jan Blahovich. There's no way.
No, I mean, I don't think he is at all. Like, yeah, if this was a couple of years ago, it'd be a max bet. But yeah. I still might have to get there, you know?
Yeah, I might have to too, dude. And we've missed the line a little bit because Blahovich was like plus 100 like 3 or 4 days ago. We were talking about it. I was like, oh God.
Yeah,
you know, am I going to be? But I'm laying the wood on a 43-year-old fighter. I might be.
Yeah, a lot of money coming in on Blahovich over the last week and a half. Blahovich opened up minus 108. He's currently minus 146. Guskov opened up minus 127. He's currently plus 114. So yeah, curious to see where this line is going to go. Jan is going to Polish power Guskov's ass. Oh gosh. Oh my goodness.
It's certainly a possibility.
Guskov is as big as a fraud as Bigfoot. Jan has become the Vettori of light heavyweight. Funny enough, like, I think Vettori's more washed than Jan Blahovich.
Yeah.
And Jan is 10 years older. Like you can't watch Jan's fights and be like he's washed. Like he didn't look washed in any of the Angalaya fight, Pereira fight, the Olberg fight. He did look a little washed in the Sheriff fight. I'm not sure what that was. That tap, he tapped out to a choke that wasn't even in.
It's the neck injury
Yeah.
that he had. That's why.
Yeah, but outside of that, like he hasn't looked washed to me. To be fair, Elikana did tap to Guskov in the first round. Yeah, that was close. Guskov is going to get subbed. Guskov been looking good in the gym. Only negative is his cardio. Have they got submissions in Poland? Yeah, they got some submissions in Poland. Bro living that Jan champ pipe dream. I just realized I lost money on every single one of those fights and felt like he won all of them, mostly the Olberg fight.
They're all so close.
Yeah.
These are all guys who would run through Guskov, so it's crazy to see the line where it is.
Mm-hmm. UFC wants Guskov to win. Yeah, they do. But that doesn't always happen. Guskov could be the first orc to touch gold. That'd be freaking crazy. Iwu and Jan, Polish parlay. I don't mind it.
Yeah.
Who is the milking of the week? We're going to find out soon.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to find out real soon. Tough fight to bet on. Jan's only real win over the last few years, besides Rakic injuring himself, was when he beat Izzy in 2021. That's true.
And even in that fight, he waited till the fucking fourth round to wrestle. You remember that?
Yeah.
Waited till the fourth round. It's like, Jan, what are you doing? Why didn't you start with that early? He could have finished him.
He did look a lot better in the striking than I thought he would, though, against Izzy.
He's got great striking. He does. I mean, like he's the better striker. He's a better striker than Guskov.
Oh, by far.
Yeah.
Should be sub or decision. We'll see. But yeah, let's keep moving on to the next fight. It is Henry Cejudo going against Peyton Talbot. We got Cejudo, 38 years old, 5'4", with a 64-inch reach. Peyton Talbot, 27 years old, 5'10", with a 70-inch reach. We got Talbot, 11 years younger, 6-inch height advantage and a 6-inch reach advantage. Cejudo is 2-3 in his last 5 fights. Knockout win against Marlon Moraes. Knockout win against Dominic Cruz. Decision loss against Sterling. Decision loss against Marab. And then a decision loss against Song Yadong. As far as Talbot, 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Submission win against Nick Aguirre. A knockout win against Cameron Simon. Knockout win against Giannis Gamori. Decision loss to Hani Barcelos. And then a decision win against Felipe Lima. So, yeah, I think, people were really down on Peyton Talbot after the Barcelos fight. And yeah, rightfully so. I mean, he was minus 1,000 against Barcelos. And Barcelos went out there. He took him down like 8 times. He controlled him. It was a really bad look. But, I thought Talbot did a really good job in his next fight against Lima. And I thought he made a ton of improvements between the Barcelos fight and the Lima fight. And you could tell that he really put an emphasis on the ground game, on the takedown defense, on the get-up game, on the scrambling. Because Felipe Lima is a pretty dang good fighter, really good prospect. And Lima had trouble taking down Talbot, holding down Talbot. And Talbot actually out-scrambled and out-grappled Felipe Lima, a good chunk of that fight as well. So I thought Talbot made a ton of improvements there. And that's to be expected with a 27-year-old who I think the sky's the limit for a guy like Peyton Talbot. I think we're going to continue to see improvements out of the guy. So I think Talbot, even though he lost against Barcelos, he's still a guy that's definitely on his way up. I think he's a guy with a very high ceiling. And if he can keep improving that takedown defense, that weakness in his game, he's going to be very tough to beat. This guy throws 1 million strikes per minute. He's very durable, has a lot of power, really, really good striker. It's just he really got to shore up that takedown defense. And I think he's working on that. And then on the flip side, you got Henry Cejudo, who's just the complete opposite, who's on his way out, literally. I mean, this has been confirmed. This is his retirement fight. He keeps talking about how this is his retirement fight. It's his last fight, like 100%. And I'm listening to some of the stuff he's saying. It's like, it's not good. Some of the stuff he's saying, like, being your retirement fight, that's already not a good look, but he's talking about, he just doesn't really seem motivated. He doesn't really seem like he really wants to be there. It doesn't really seem like he's taking this seriously. I have a feeling he's kind of not. And almost 39 years old, Henry. This guy, Henry Cejudo, hasn't won a fight in like 5 or 6 years. It's like, I don't know. I like Talbot. Again, kind of like the Turner fight. I wish I was getting a better price on him. He's like minus like 280-ish. But I mean, I agree because I don't think Cejudo's taking down and holding down. I think he could take him down. I don't think he's holding down Talbot. And on the feet, it's like Talbot's so much more bigger than this guy. He's going to be so much faster. He's going to hit a lot harder. So I like Talbot. I like him quite a bit. I'm not sure I'm going to play it yet, but I'm going to have some sort of action, I think, on the Talbot side. Weezy, what are your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, I mean, I think Talbot's going to run through Cejudo. First of all, he's 11 and a half years younger.
Oh,
right. So, I mean, like, that's just crazy. Just on its own, the difference in career trajectory, momentum, athletic ability, and don't forget size. Peyton Talbot's 6 inches taller than this midget. He's got a 6-inch reach advantage over him. Cejudo's a flyweight. Peyton Talbot's a massive bantamweight. So there's, a big youth and athleticism advantage here on the Talbot side. There's height and reach advantages here on the Talbot side. And then the style that he fights with is like the complete opposite of the style that Henry Cejudo fights with. Cejudo's a very low volume fighter. And for somebody that has that Olympic wrestling background, it's not something he uses. He's not a wrestler in MMA. He only gets 1.8 takedowns per 15 minutes. So, for an Olympic wrestler, you would think that he would be getting a lot more takedowns than the divisional average. But the reality is he's right around the divisional average in terms of how many takedowns he gets per 15 minutes. And over, a 15 fight sample size and over 200 minutes in the UFC octagon, Henry Cejudo spends 74% of his UFC octagon time at distance striking range. So even though he's winning like 80% of the control time positions in his fights because he is the better offensive and defensive wrestler in most of his matchups, it's not really what he does to win minutes or to bank rounds or to win fights at this level. He tries to win the striking exchanges. And the problem is that at this level, at 135, in order to let Henry get his game off, you would have to be afraid of the power that's coming back your way. And Peyton Talbot isn't afraid. This guy throws 16.4 distance strikes per minute. He lands 8.2 of them. He lands at a 50% clip. He's got way subpar 52% distance striking defense, but this guy's got a fucking granite chin. And the problem is that Henry isn't going to be able to fight at the pace that Peyton Talbot fights at. He's 11 years younger. He's bigger. He's got better conditioning. He throws way more volume, and he puts you on your back foot. So first of all, I don't think it's going to be easy for Henry to be countering here and waiting for those precise shots because I don't think that he has enough power to knock down Peyton Talbot. And if you don't have the power to get Peyton's respect, guess what happens then? You're fucked. Right in the fucking butt.
Yep.
Because this guy is never going to let you breathe. He's never going to fuck off. He's going to stay in your face. He's going to constantly throw volume. And what really pisses people off is the fact that when you hit somebody with your best shot and they don't go away or they don't even really acknowledge you, that is what really breaks you mentally. And then he's going to break you physically with his pace. That difference in age and size is just too much. And then when you throw in the difference in how these guys fight and the pace that Talbot fights at, I just think it's a nightmare of a stylistic matchup for Cejudo here. So, I mean, he's a 2-division champion. The guy's a legend, Triple C, Olympic gold medal in freestyle wrestling, 125-pound UFC champion, 135-pound UFC champion. The guy is an absolute legend, and you don't want to just say that he's got no chance. But this type of a matchup is just brutal for him.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%, 110%. I agree. Let's see. So yeah, Talbot minus 265, Cejudo plus 225. Over under set at 2.5. The over 2.5 minus 235. The under 2.5 plus 195. I kind of think a Talbot late finish could be in play here. Like if Cejudo he's retiring, like if he's not all the way bought in, and if Talbot starts putting it on him, who says he can't look for the door? Kind of looked for the door in the Song fight. That was a really weird situation there in the Song fight.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't shock me if Talbot got like a late finish type thing, but yeah, late finish or decision for Talbot, I think. Yeah, Talbot decision, I could see it because Cejudo is tough. He is a tough, durable guy. Cejudo is a quitter, and yeah, I do worry he might look for the door. Cejudo plus 3.5. Maybe. I don't love it, to be honest, but
He
probably
won
going
a
to
round off of Merab.
Yep, that's true. Do you guys think Marlon Moraes' fight is the greatest comeback in sporting history?
Well, it depends which one, because Merab against Marlon Moraes was a crazy comeback for Merab.
He's talking about the
Cejudo one, though,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. Moraes was looking good for like a round and a half, but yeah, it was a good comeback. Not the greatest one I'd say ever, though. Talbot by KO, then super necessary oil check. What? Henry can't really pull off what Barcelos did. Well, I mean, I don't think he can. I mean,
Henry has no jiu-jitsu.
There's
None.
no control either. When's the last time that Cejudo took somebody down, controlled him for 15 minutes?
Yeah. I don't think it's ever happened.
It's happened once.
Okay. When was that?
Back in 2017 versus Sergio Pettis. He did take him down 3 times and he did control him for like 9 minutes.
Okay.
But outside of that, it's never happened. Maybe against, I don't know, Carlos or Chris Kamikaze? Carrizo?
Oh, yeah. Carriazo. Yeah, I remember him.
Kamikaze? Yeah. He took him down 6 times there, controlled for 9 minutes. Yeah, so in the Kamikaze fight and in the Pettis fight. But outside of that, it just hasn't happened. So we need Moreno versus Cejudo. We're not going to see it, man. Cejudo's retiring.
Yeah.
Cejudo is back for the money and some limelight, especially since he is forgotten. And he's talking about in his interviews how he's like not even training wrestling anymore. It's like he's not training wrestling. Like, you're probably going to want to wrestle here, buddy. You know?
Yeah.
You're probably going to want to wrestle here. I think you should be working on that wrestling still. I think Peyton Talbot's striking is overrated. No, it's not. He gets hit way too much. Cejudo is at the end of his career, but he's still quick, durable, and is competitive with the best at 135. Cejudo, you're talking about Paddy Pimblett. I think Cejudo's going to wrestle his ass. Yeah, I think he can take him down. I don't know if he's going to hold him down. Give me the zesty man for the decision. The zesty fighters have been on a roll, man. We saw, was it Moraes? Michael Morales.
Yeah.
Go out there and put up a big performance. I wouldn't be shocked if you saw
Brady.
Another zesty go out there and put up a nice big performance. Talbot's too big to wrestle for Cejudo at least. Yeah, big size.
Yeah.
Discrepancy there. Talbot is on my roster on bettable fighters. Cejudo is not anymore. Guys on the list are undefeated against fighters who aren't in it since I started it. There you go. Not in the butt. Yeah, I guess in the butt.
Well, it's going to happen. If Henry does not get Peyton's respect, it's going to get ugly.
Yeah. Is Talbot sub at plus 3,000 that crazy? Henry can wrestle, of course, but he's never got to sub, and Peyton has subbed a few with those long, spicy arms.
Yeah, he's got spicy arms, dude. I was going to say that.
I wasn't going to say something like that, but yeah.
Oh, I was.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it's sad. You literally should have seen retired. It's bad, man. It's been a long time since he's won a fight. This could end up looking a lot like Brady versus Morales. It could. Yeah, it actually could. We could see it.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Schnell is the greatest comeback in the UFC. That's up there, man. That is absolutely up there.
Yeah, man.
He was getting knocked out in the feet multiple times. I hate my girlfriend. Oh, I'm sorry. In my opinion, Cejudo wasn't actively looking for the door versus Song. He just took advantage of the situation because he thought he was up on the scorecards. Well, if he thought he was up on the scorecards, he's an idiot.
Yeah, he couldn't have. I remember, there's no way he was up on the scorecards there.
Maybe he thought that. I hope he didn't, but I mean, not the fight I was watching. Still picking Talbot though. Cringe versus Zest. Let's go. Who's gonna win, the Cringe or the Zest? I got the Zest, man. I got the Zest. And shout out Frank Ocean. You know, people hate on Frank Ocean. He's not bad, man. He's underrated. You probably never listened to Frank Ocean though, Weezy.
Dude, I have, and I thought he was awful. So,
no, come on.
Yeah. So like when his debut album, my friend Mike that I went to high school with, we grew up together, and Mike was always the guy who got me into the coolest music, right?
Yeah.
So anytime my buddy Mike told me, "Hey, dude, you got to check this out," most of the time I'm like, "Oh, that was cool. That was great." He told me to check out Frank Ocean, and I called him. afterwards, I thought he was fucking trolling me. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? I mean, I bought that shit.
Oh God.
He goes, you didn't like it? Like he was very sincere. Like he was like, he actually likes it. I know a lot of people liked it. I thought it was fucking awful. The debut album, I've never heard anything since then, though. So I don't know if he's improved. I don't know if it's something that I would dig now, but I know that first album, it got me literally angry. I thought it was so bad.
I know what you mean. Like, I feel like I used to not like Frank Ocean, but just the other day, a couple months ago, started listening to his music. I'm like, wow, this actually isn't bad.
Okay.
And I started kind of to like it a little bit. So, but yeah, I'm with you. At first, I was like, this guy stinks, man. This guy stinks. But it's growing on me. It's one of those artists where it's got to grow on you a little bit. You got to listen to it a couple of times, and then it'll start to get going a little bit.
Hell yeah.
Unpopular opinion, Moreno is going to pipe Taira on site. We're about to talk about that fight. Dawson, Torres, over 1.5 rounds at plus 115 smells money. Yeah, I mean, Dawson goes over in all of his fights pretty much. Yeah, you got trolled. Get trolled. Channel Orange was solid in my opinion. Just got to be in the right mood. Yeah.
That was the album. I just remember like there was, the first couple tracks. I was like, what the fuck is happening? Why did you tell me to get this? You know?
That is wild, telling somebody to go listen to Frank Ocean. That is wild.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go that far.
No, he fucking told me to, and he thought I would
God.
like it. And I was like, dude, you're wrong, man. I didn't like it at all.
That's wild. That's wild. All right. But yeah, we'll move on to the next fight. We got a very high level fight here. We got Brandon Moreno going against Tatsuro Taira. We got Moreno, 31 years old, 5'7" with a 70-inch reach. Tatsuro Taira, 25 years old, 5'7" with a 70-inch reach. We got Taira 6 years younger, same height, same reach. Moreno is 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Had a knockout win against Davison Figueiredo. Decision losses to Pantoia and Royval. A decision win against Amir Albazi, and then a decision win against Steve Urseg. As far as Tatsuro Taira, he has 4-1 in his last 5 fights. A decision win against Edgar Chairez, a knockout win against Carlos Hernandez, a knockout win against Alex Perez, a decision loss to Brendan Royval, and a submission win against Sung Hung Park. So yeah, this is I'd say it's a pretty big step up in competition for Taira. Like outside of the Royval fight, he hasn't fought the best guys in the world, but he's been pretty impressive, and he's young. He's 25 years old. He's getting better. The striking's getting better. The wrestling's getting better. And he's always really had that really slick grappling. But it's going to be an interesting test here. And I guess the question for me is Brandon Moreno going to be able to avoid the back takes of Taira? Is he going to be able to scramble back up? And that's the thing with Moreno. He's a very good scrambler. He's a very good grappler, a very good anti-grappler. Because on the feet, you got to favor Moreno. Like, he has so many tools on the feet. He has really good volume. And although Taira, I think the striking is improving, I think he does have some power. You got to favor Moreno on the feet. So I guess it comes down to whether or not, Taira can kind of implement that game plan of getting the fight down to the ground, getting to the back, getting that control. I wish it was a 5-round fight. Like, it feels like one of these fights where it really should be 5 rounds, but 3 rounds here. I think it's a good one, Weezy. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I think it's a great fight. I finished writing this one up. I'll just read my summary because I think I did a pretty good job breaking down what the most important matchups were, most important elements of this fight were. This is such a high-level matchup in the flyweight division. The winner of this fight could potentially be next for a title shot if the Royval Kopp fight winds up being lackluster, like most Manel Kopp's fights are. There is a lot at stake in this fight for both fighters, so both guys need a win here. Brandon Moreno is a former champion. He brings a 2-fight win streak into this fight. He has a lot more high-level UFC experience, a solid strength of schedule advantage. He's being significantly underpriced in this matchup in comparison to his previous opponents, which in my opinion were a higher level of opponent than Tatsuro Taira. And I rate Brandon as the better minute and moment winner at distance striking range in this matchup. Tatsuro Taira is 6 years younger than Brandon. He's gotten off to a 7-win and 1-loss start in the UFC, and he has a lot of hype on him, and for good reason. Taira is a dominant grappler with the ability to win minutes and moments with takedowns, top time, back takes, and submission attempts. He only spends 36% of his UFC octagon time at distance striking range, and he's winning 85% of the control time positions in his fights while displaying a positive 1.3 clinch and ground strike differential. So he's doing damage when he's in those control time positions, as well as looking for submission attempts. This fight will come down to who can control the pace and location of the fight. This is a 3-round fight, and Brandon Moreno has not had a fight scheduled for 3 rounds since the year 2020. While this fight is on the feet, Moreno probably wins the minutes and moments, both at distance and in the clinch. And if this fight goes to the ground, Taira is very adept at getting to dominant positions where he can either win the minutes and bank the rounds or finish with a submission or ground and pound. Brandon Moreno has been in there against some of the best grapplers in the division, and he rarely gives up a lot of control time to his opponents. Even Pantoia wasn't able to maintain top position for extended stretches against Moreno when they fought. So it's hard to picture Taira dominating each round with top time and back takes when even Pantoia, Askarov, and Figueiredo struggled to do the same thing. I think Brandon is going to limit Taira's offensive grappling success, and I think he does more damage while this fight is on the feet, and I think he's going to win a close decision here. This should be a close fight between 2 high-level opponents, but I think Brandon has more ways to win this fight, and I think the experience, strength of schedule, and striking advantages are going to carry him to a victory here. The market thinks this fight goes to decision at a high clip, and as a result, the unders and finish props of both fighters are underpriced according to the available metrics, but my favorite bet for this fight is the Brandon Moreno money line at plus 115, and my pick for the fight is Brandon Moreno to win by decision.
Well, you moved the line. Damn it. Plus
I do that sometimes, man.
Yeah.
It's this voice that I have that I've been blessed with, combined with the analytical ability that I was taught at the Harvard of the Midwest, Brady, Northern Illinois University.
Yep, you moved it. Plus 102 for Moreno now, and minus 122.
When did that happen? That didn't just happen now, did it? Damn it. I was looking at plus 115, and I was like, I'm going to play that.
Happened like 8 o'clock.
Damn it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a close fight. I think it comes down to the scrambling ability of Moreno. If he's able to kind of scramble with Taira, win some of the exchanges, not get his back taken, keep it on the feet, he could absolutely win this fight. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not confident one way or another. It is probably a dog or pass, but it looks like it's approaching a pick'em at this point. So yeah, I'm not really excited about betting on this one way or another. No props really sticking out. I think this goes to decision at an extremely high clip. I don't see Brandon Moreno finishing Taira, and I don't see Taira. I don't really see anybody finishing Moreno. So yeah, probably goes to decision. Probably goes into the hands of the crooked, blind, corrupt judges, and we'll see what they think there. Talbot may, come on, just be the piping of the week because he likes. Talbot does not like getting piped. Come on. Unpopular opinion, Moreno's going to pipe Taira on site. I already read all these comments. Frank Ocean with Andre Fiala. You have no room to talk, man. Taira will definitely take his back, controlling on the ground. It could be a tough matchup, but Moreno is a scrambling goat. Yeah. The trilogy with Figgy has a lot of the best scrambles in UFC history. If need to know, why does Weezy pronounce it Champagne? Because it is pronounced Champagne, right?
Yeah. I mean, like it's recently, as this country has gotten worse and worse, been pronounced incorrectly more and more. But if you watched like 50s, 60s, 70s boxing matches with the 75-year-old Italian guy in there doing the announcing, it was never the heavyweight champion of the world. It was the heavyweight champion of the world. I'm just trying to honor some of the roots of that great sport, boxing, UFC. Champion is actually the correct way to pronounce that word.
Yeah, we appreciate that too. How many times would Moreno win if they fought 10 times? I don't know, like maybe 5. I think they're pretty well matched.
I think 6. And here's the thing: I think that Taira's ability to get takedowns is being a little bit overrated, because we've seen him in there against guys that don't have the best takedown defense. In particular, Brandon Royval has like less than 50% takedown defense, but even Brandon was stuffing some of Taira's attempts, and he almost finished him in the round in the round number 3. And I feel like, Moreno's a better striker than Royval is, and that he's a much better scrambler and has better takedown defense. So I don't think that we're going to see Tyra even have as much grappling success as he did in the Royval fight. And if that's the case, I think Brandon's going to win the minutes.
Yeah, Tyra's not the best wrestler. It's just once he gets it down, he's like phenomenal.
He's a phenomenal grappler, and the wrestling is still good. It's still good, and the striking, he lands some big shots on the feet too. But this is a step up in competition. I think Moreno's the side, but we'll find out. There's great reasons to like both fighters here.
Moreno gave Pantoja his hardest fight. That fight also took place right before the judges started prioritizing damage more.
Agreed. I thought Moreno might have won that fight too.
I thought we were watching it live at the arena, and I mean the crowd, like everybody was behind Moreno. Everybody was behind Moreno, and I was really drunk, and the crowd like swayed me really badly, and I literally thought Moreno won 4-1. That's how drunk I was. I
don't know about 4-1.
That's how drunk I was.
Maybe 3-2, but it was a close fight. It was definitely a close fight.
Yeah, I was like shocked. Like I was so drunk. I scored the fight 4-1 Moreno. That's why you shouldn't drink, too much and watch the fights. It clouds your vision.
Don't drink and live bet either.
Yeah, definitely
bad idea.
Yeah. I was like, what? I had him winning 4-1. What's going on? But, yeah. Is Wheezy actually your uncle? Yes, he is. Absolutely. Pantoja is getting milked. What? Pantoja is the one that does the milking. If anything, he'd get piped. Pantoja doesn't get milked. Nobody's milked Pantoja.
Nope.
No, he does the milking. Come on. Moreno's a very good boxer. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Japanese fighters always seem to fumble when they get a top 5 fight. My Japanese brother is going to submit that lad. I don't know if he's going to submit. That'd be incredible if he submitted Brandon Moreno. I don't think Moreno's been finished yet, has he?
Never been finished as a professional, man. It's crazy.
Drunk watching MMA with parlays is dangerous. Yeah, it is, man. It definitely is. The milkman is due to get milked at some point. I disagree. I mean, if you're a milkman, you just don't get. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah. The milkman does the milking.
Yeah, I've never seen a milkman get milked. It would be the first time in UFC history. So we'll see. All right. Speaking of Van Pantoja, it's time to get into the people's main event. This is my main event. It is Alexander Pantoja going against Joshua Van. We got Pantoja, 35 years old, 5'5" with a 67-inch reach. We got Joshua Van, 24 years old, 5'5" with a 65-inch reach. We got Van, 11 years younger, same height, and we got Pantoja with a 2-inch reach advantage. Pantoja is 5-0 in his last 5 fights, a decision win against Brandon Moreno, a decision win against Brandon Royval, a decision win against Steve Erceg, a submission win against Kai Asakura, and a submission win against Kai Kara France. As far as Joshua Van, 5-0 in his last 5 fights. Decision win against Edgar Torres, decision win against Cody Durden, decision win against Ray Cejudo, knockout win against Bruno Silva, and then a decision win against Brandon Royval. I think it's a phenomenal fight here. I'm looking forward to this one. Joshua Van, only 24 years old. I think this guy will absolutely be champion one day. It's like impossible to see him not being champion one day. The question is, will he be champion coming up this Saturday? I don't know. Like I'm on Twitter today, and I'm looking. I see a couple Josh Van interviews, and it's like, is this guy like some of the stuff he's saying? It's like he said he's going to out grapple Pantoja. He said he's going to submit Pantoja. He said that he's coming in here without a game plan. It's like he's either trolling or he's kind of stupid. But he's a really fun fighter. I love Josh Van. This guy throws a ton of volume. I love the combinations, the cardio. The chin is a little suspect, but yeah, I mean, it's very fun to watch. I've never seen a boring Josh Van fight. The question is, will and has he made enough improvements to hang with a very, very high level black belt in Alexander Pantoja if this fight were to get to the mat? So how I'm looking at this fight, I think it's Pantoja by sub early on, first rounds 1, 2, or 3, but if Van's able to kind of stuff the takedowns. We've kind of seen Pantoja slow down before, and Pantoja is one of these guys that's going to slow down, but just has so much heart, and he's going to fight through it. I mean, if Pantoja slows down, I could see Van maybe, making him pay for that and kind of, taking over down the stretch, maybe even getting a late finish as well. So, yeah, what do you like in here, Weeds? It's a very intriguing fight. I'm looking forward to it. Big fan of both these guys.
Yeah, I mean, when Van came into the UFC, I remember thinking that, all right, I'm going to be trying to fade this guy against grapplers. I saw him get absolutely run through by a lower level wrestler on the regional scene. And at the time, as of right now, as of today, Josh Van is only 4 years removed from his first professional MMA fight.
Crazy.
Right? So you think about a guy like Pantoia, who's almost been champion for 4 years. This guy just turned pro at the time that Pantoia probably had his 28th professional fight. And over those 28 fights or so, he's always been one of the best grapplers in the history of this entire division. And I faded Josh Van against Felipe Bunis. I faded Josh Van against Cody Durden. And I remember after the Durden fight, I was like, okay, I'm learning my lesson now. This guy is built like a bowling ball, so he's going to be difficult to take down. And that pressure, that boxing, that cardio, that output, and that durability, it's a great combination of skills to really put your opponent on the back foot and then make them fight at your pace. But Van's chin cracked in the Charles Johnson fight, so that was weird to see, very strange to see. And I kind of felt like that was, a little bit of a chink in the armor there. Is this guy's ground game is still a bit of an unknown. And I mean, if it's an unknown against Pantoia, that's not a good thing. And then I'm seeing a guy like Pantoia has the more reliable durability here too. He's a good striker in his own right, but he gets his takedowns at a 47% clip. He outcontrols his opponents 32% to 11%. He wins 75% of the control time positions in his fights. And he's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt who's 6-0 to the submission in the UFC and 12-0 to the submission as a professional. So, like, if Josh Van, when you're young and you're confident and you really haven't experienced a lot of losing or adversity, you'll say dumb shit like, I'm going to out-grapple this guy. And Josh Van's 24 years old. He might be dumb because the guy fights like 6 fucking times a year. That's not good for your health, but he's young. He's very, very good. So this is the time to do it. This is the time to be young, dumb, full of cum, fight, to high roll your way to the top, to fight 5 times a year, to not care if you take damage, to not give a shit about even trying to get better between fights because you're taking a fight every 6 to 10 weeks, So he's gonna do this, but this is the test where it ends. I mean, like, he's not that much better of a striker than Pantoia. I promise you that. Pantoia is very dangerous on the feet. The threat of the takedown makes Pantoia a better striker than he normally would be. And you look at Pantoia over a massive 17-fight sample size in the UFC, and he's got a positive 0.3 distance striking differential. He's got a 4-to-1 knockdown ratio. He's known as being incredibly durable, having really good power, and then the threat of that grappling game, which is elite. It's elite against the best fighters in the division. Josh Van's a blue belt with 4 years of MMA experience. If Pantoia gets him down and gets the dominant positions, it's going to be a wrap. So I think that Pantoia should win this fight 75 out of 100 times. I feel like he should be at least minus 300 here because Josh Van doesn't have one punch KO power, Brady. Yeah. And he also doesn't have 5-round experience. And if he's not stopping the takedowns here, man, he's going to get put in some really bad spots, and he's probably going to take a lot of damage. So the amount of time that it's going to take Josh Van to accumulate enough damage to win this fight, to win some minutes, bang some rounds, he doesn't have that much time because Pantoia is going to be taking him down probably in every round. And if he does and he gets to his back, that's the round of the fight. So Van's going to have to stuff a ton of takedowns here. And when he doesn't, he's going to have to show elite submission defense. And if there's even a slight thought that he is going to fucking submit this guy and that he does actually voluntarily grapple with him in places where he should just be getting out of there, then he's gonna lose this fight, Brady.
Remember when he rolled for an ankle against black belt Felipe Bunes?
Yes, dude. This guy's going for calf slicers in there and shit. Like, I remember he rolled for a leg lock at one point, and I was like, Josh, no. You know, like, what are you doing? If he does that against Pantoja, it's going to be like Emmers and Sabatini. Remember when Emmers started going for a toe hold on Pat, and Pat was like, all right, give me that heel. Rip. See you next year. You know, so yeah, I think it's Pantoja. Pantoja by sub. I think he's going to win this fight that way. But you know, Josh Van is 11 and a half years younger than Pantoja. So the end is going to come at some point, man. Pantoja is not invincible. He's a 35-year-old flyweight with 35 professional fights. The end is nigh. It's coming at some point. And it's going to probably be some younger fighter that does show him that loss. But I don't think Josh Van is a complete enough fighter at this point in his career to do that.
Yeah, a couple years down, like even a year down the line, right?
But, dude, I mean, I think Van has just got to take a little bit more time between fights to work on everything, to work on putting everything together.
Yeah,
and that's going to have to be constant forward pressure, elite takedown defense, and then just continue to be able to fight at the pace that you set, which means your conditioning is always have to be really on point, and he's already got all of that.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Pantoja opened up minus 260, currently minus 235. Van opened up plus 220, currently plus 200. Want to hear something crazy?
What's that?
The books, you know, they don't make a ton of mistakes, man. But they opened up Pantoja by submission at plus 275.
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
I would have loved to have gotten that number.
And it's currently, so it goes from plus 275 to it's currently plus 125.
Dude, it was plus 150 earlier, so even that got hit. Wow.
Yeah. That's a big, I mean, that's a big move. That's a huge move. But yeah, it shouldn't have been plus 275 at all. So yeah, I'm leaning Pantoja early sub as well. But yeah, I think Van will be back. He'll be good. He's 24 years old. 24 years old. Joshua Van is a blue belt. Yeah, I mean, there's just a big difference in terms of the grappling there. Even if Van rocks Pantoja, he's immediately getting taken down. Pantoja borderline lock, in my opinion. Pantoja going to mop Van. Van has good get-ups. I doubt he gets taken down, but I believe he'll get back to the feet. Just can't get put in bad spots, or it might be over. Van was fighting a taller fighter and was getting hit too much. Van was winning till he made that error against CJ. Steve Erceg beat Pantoja. No, he didn't. In my opinion, really, I don't think he beat him. He would have beat him, but he made that mistake in that fifth round and ended up on bottom. Pantoja has leveled up the last 2 years. Yeah, that is true. That's fair to say, 100%. Van's never dealt with a pressure grappler Pantoja's level before. Pantoja has seen plenty of volume strikers and will be more than ready to deal with what he brings. The only lock in life is Mike Tyson beating every F in a pub with no fighting skills. Pantoja's going to look like a man overdosed on Viagra, ragdolling his wife. What? I mean, I guess. Vegas.
Wouldn't it be awesome if he went out there with just a giant erection and just ran through Josh?
I mean, I don't want to see that. I just want to see him fight without an erection, personally. Taking Van by decision or Pantoja by sub. Pantoja can crack. And yeah, we've seen Van hurt like a lot. Like he got hurt against Charles Johnson, obviously. He got hurt a few times against Torres in their fight. Also, Van can get rocked too. Agreed. I really like the fight doesn't go at minus 140, minus 150, but it's taken a pretty big hit. It went from minus 140 to minus 190. The fight doesn't go to decision. So it's taken
sense.
It's taking some steam. Pantoja sub took a big hit. Fight doesn't go took a big hit. Pantoja ITD took a big hit. And I would tend to agree. Van has been hurt more than Pantoja. Yep. The only time I remember Pantoja getting hurt was in the Figgy fight. Outside of that, he doesn't get hurt.
Yeah, he eats a lot of clean shots. He just doesn't get hurt. You know, that's the problem. The guy's got his durability.
Yeah, he just smiles at you like a freak.
Yeah.
All right. I guess it's time for the main event. Let's check the likes. Hopefully we're at 100. Would be cool. We're at 100. We're on the dot.
Yes.
There we
Let's
go.
go.
Appreciate you guys. Now we can do the main event. All right. And it felt like we just broke down the main event, to be honest. Now, this is my co-main event. This is my co-main event. It's Merab Dvalishvili going against Petr Yan. We got Merab, 34 years old, 5'6" with a 68-inch reach. We got Petr Yan, 32 years old, 5'7" with a 67-inch reach. Yan 2 years younger, 1-inch height advantage and a 1-inch reach disadvantage. Merab 5-0 in his last 5 fights. Decision win against Henry Cejudo. Decision win against Sean O'Malley. Decision win against Umar Nurmagomedov. Submission win against Sean O'Malley. And then a decision win against Corey Sandhagen. As far as Petr Yan, 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Decision loss to Sean O'Malley. Decision loss to Merab Dvalishvili. Decision wins against Song Yadong, Davison Figueiredo, and Marcus McGee. So when I saw they made this fight, I'm like, come on. Come on. Because I already bought tickets. I already bought flight tickets. We already booked the hotel. And I'm like, come on, this is not the main event. Like, where's the main event at? I just don't. I don't know. It's hard for me to be excited about a fight that, I mean, it wasn't remotely competitive. And it's not like that fight was years ago. It was like a year and a half, 2 years ago. Merab 50-45 Petr Yan across the board. It wasn't even close. That was, I mean, after that fight, I'm like, okay, I'm never, ever, ever betting against Merab Dvalishvili ever. This guy attempted like 50 takedowns. Like that's not human to attempt 50 takedowns. Looked good on the feet. Petr Yan looked hesitant. The fight wasn't close at all. The only thing I'll say is, like, I guess there's rumors that Petr Yan was compromised. He was dealing with some stuff. I've heard he was dealing with like an illness. I've heard he was dealing with like a hand injury. And yeah, if that's the case, maybe we're looking at a more competitive fight. But at the end of the day, like, I'm not picking against Merab. This guy, he's just not human. He's literally not human. So I like Merab. I'm not laying minus 400 on him, especially when he was like, plus 250 in their first fight. But after watching the first fight, it's hard for me to pick Petr Yan here. So yeah, Merab's the pick. Not going to be betting on this one. I would look at maybe like a point spread for Yan, but even then, and like I said, he got 50-45 in the first fight on all 3 judges' scorecards. So probably sitting back and watching this one. And from a DraftKings perspective, that's probably where I'll have like all my action from a DraftKings perspective, because Merab is literally one of the best, if not the best, DraftKings scorers of all time. So might just put the lock button in on Merab on DK and call it a day.
Yeah, not a bad idea. I mean, like, when you see Merab's decision prop priced at minus 300.
Whoa, for real? I didn't even look.
Dude, it's not a joke. It's minus 300. You know,
I
mean, like, that tells you all you fucking need to know. It's always been and always will be Merab Dvalishvili by decision. Siberia couldn't finish Petr Yan. I mean, it's not like Merab's like out there finishing people. I mean, he's got 2 finishes in 14 UFC wins. So, and one of them is Sean O'Malley, who's just a quitter of the highest order. So, Petr Yan's not going to quit. But at the same time, like, even if this fight stayed on the feet for 3 or 4 of the 5 rounds, Petr Yan's not running through anybody on the feet. And the constant pressure and offense and threat of the wrestling of Merab, he's got really underrated striking. Nobody's running through Merab on the feet. And if you think about Petr Yan, when was the last time you went out there and you were like, wow, he just put on an absolute striking clinic? What was it, against Jinsu's son back in like 2018? Is that the last time that happened? Petr Yan starts slow and he kind of picks you apart a little bit, but he's not knocking people out. He's not destroying people. Petr Yan probably has had more success with his wrestling in recent fights than he has actually with his striking, in my opinion. So, when somebody's decision prop is at 75% implied, the market's telling you all you need to know. Merab's winning this fight by decision. But there is one thing I wanted to bring up. This is the first time, Brady. This will be Petr Yan's 16th UFC fight.
Yeah.
Check this out. First time he's been priced as an underdog.
That's ridiculous. Wow.
You think about that, right? I mean, like, this guy, the biggest underdog we've ever seen him priced at was a favorite, and it was minus 122 in the first fight against Aljamain Sterling, which he dominated, and then kneed him in the head in the 4th round and got disqualified, right? His average betting line is minus 297, and this will be the first time he in the UFC that has been priced as an underdog, and he's not just priced as an underdog, he's priced at plus 330.
Oh, yeah.
So, if Merab doesn't have a lot of wrestling success here, these striking exchanges are going to be close and Peter Yan could potentially win. So I guess there are reasons that we could take the Peter Yan side. It's very rare you get a fighter of Yan's quality at plus 330 against somebody with no finish upside. So I just wanted to mention that, but Merab Dvalishvili is an elite fighter who's fighting at a Hall of Fame level right now. If you're defending your title in this division multiple times, you're a stud. And Merab's unique way that he fights is just a problem for literally everybody in the division. If you're technical, you better have elite cardio. Because we saw what he did to Umar in rounds 4 and 5. He won those rounds pretty easily. So it's going to be tough. I mean, I think it's going to be Merab and Merab by decision, and anything else is a waste of money.
Anything else would be kind of surprising.
Yeah,
very surprising if Merab finished Yan, vice versa. Yan by KO, Dvalishvili by decision. People talk about Yan being injured, but Merab was also injured. Can't see this fight going any different than the first time. Merab by decision. Yan needs more of a boxing stance for this fight and less of a Muay Thai stance. Check out Yan's odds historically versus his odds for this fight. Crazy. He has always been overpriced, not underpriced. Yep, Weezy brought that up. 100%. An Academy Award-winning performance finished Petr Yan's title reign. Yeah, it was a shame, man. It was an absolute shame.
He was killing him. He was absolutely killing Aljo.
Yeah, it was not even close.
He was out wrestling him. I mean, it was crazy what he was doing to him. And then you even heard his corner say, knee him. It was just like that knee was probably, in terms of a moment changing somebody's career for the better or worse. I mean, there was nobody with more trajectory than Peter Yan that at that point, he then lost 4 of his next 5 fights, Brady.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that?
I know.
Crazy.
Sad, man. Also, Merab doing these weight cuts lately. Maybe it catches up a bit here. Yeah, it could.
Yeah, that's one thing we didn't talk about. Only a month and a half layoff for Merab Dvalishvili. You never see champions turning around that quickly. And Merab is he doesn't care. He's cleaning out the division.
Yeah. Yan to win a round is a great bet, in my opinion. It could be. I mean, I bet Sandhagen to win a round. And somehow he didn't win 3 rounds total because Merab got a 10-8, and then the judges incorrectly scored, I think the first and maybe the 3rd round. Somehow, some way, Corey Sandhagen didn't win 3 rounds. It was crazy. So I wasn't able to hit that, but yeah, maybe you can do Yan to win a round. It's probably close to even money, but it's just you have to get involved with the crooked, corrupt judges.
Yeah,
probably Yan's last title shot. Yeah.
Yeah,
probably his last. Maybe. I mean, he's only 32. Only 32 years old. He's very good. I think the only way to beat Merab at this point is to bank the first 3 rounds and win a 48-47. It's gonna be very tough to beat Merab. I think to beat Merab, you're gonna probably get to finish him, and that's gonna be tough to do. So in that case, would you have money line or decision prop in a parlay? Seems like a decision is his money line, but might not want to get queued. Well, his decision is minus 300 and his money line is minus 400.
So I just play the money line.
Yeah.
5-round fight. You just never know.
Yeah. That's funny you say that. Bet the unanimous decision to get the line down. So they have the decision at minus 300. Guess what the unanimous decision is?
Minus 275.
Wow. Very close. Minus 280.
I even gave him a little too much credit.
I know. I agree with that. I think the first Aljo fight messed with Peter mentally. Yeah, he hasn't looked the same since.
Yeah.
Had that aura. Yeah, aura's gone. Aura's gone. We got the golden octagon saying just subbed to my second account. Let's get Brady to 30K. Also hit that mother effing like. Appreciate you, golden octagon. Yeah, I'm about 115 subs away from 30K. So if you guys have not subbed, be sure to help me out there. I kind of agree. I love that Merab is super active champion, but the quick might affect him. But I still think he wins the decision. Yeah, quick turnaround. When Jan broke Aldo, it looked like we would have a dominant champ for years. That was an incredible performance.
Incredible.
Incredible.
We just destroyed him in the fifth round, fourth and fifth rounds.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I remember thinking, like, this guy is a murderer.
I know. Yeah, we need that Jan back. Where's that Jan at? Bring him back. Bring him back. All right. We did it, Weezy. Went through all 14 fights. All that's left is we're going to come up with a parlay. We're going to come up with the piping of the week. And we're going to come up with the milking of the week. Last week, we went 3 for 3. That's the goal. 3 for 3. Hit the parlay, hit the piping, hit the milking. It's time to do it again. So let's do the parlay. I have my leg in mind. I'll let you go first. Wait. Yeah, I think I got mine. What do you got for your parlay leg?
I got several legs I can go with, but there's one leg that's priced at minus 185 that I think can get some meat on the bone of this parlay, and it's something that you and I both like. And it would be the Ibo versus Iwo under 1.5 rounds at minus 185.
Yeah, I love that. And I'm just gonna go with Peyton Talbot.
Okay.
That comes out to plus 112.
Plus money, we'll take it, man. I think that those are both really good looks. I'd be shocked if the Baroninski fight went over 1.5, because you would think that Ibo, after that Elikana fight, he knows he has to go out there swinging. Win or lose, he really kind of needs to show something after that last fight.
That's what I'm thinking. If he doesn't, this guy, Iwu, he's going to force him to do it, so. Yep, under 1.5 rounds in the Oslon Baroninski fight, and the Peyton Talbot money line comes out to plus 112. All right. Now let's do the piping. We got a ton of options, man. So let's just kind of go through them. Mansur Abdul Malik, potential piping. Iwo Baroninski, potential piping. Jalen Turner,
yep,
potential piping. Chris Duncan, potential piping. I think it's probably between those. I guess Blahovich could potentially pipe Guskov. See, we'll do Abdul Malik, Baroninski, Turner, or Chris Duncan.
Agreed. I think those are 4 great slots.
We could pussy out and go with Malik. I mean, it's a free win, or we can get a little bit more aggressive. What do you think?
I think we should get a little more aggressive, because even though I wouldn't tell people to back Jalen Turner at minus 300 because he's been traditionally pretty unreliable. He's underperformed market expectations. I mean, it's hard to picture Jalen not knocking this guy out. I mean, what's Barbosa going to do? Is he going to take him down?
Oh,
right. No, I mean, this fight's going to stay on the feet, and it's going to go to the ground if Jalen wants it there. So I think Jalen's going to be able to dictate where this fight takes place and fight where he's most comfortable. The height advantage, the reach advantage, him being much younger, way more explosive and athletic. I think he's going to knock out Barbosa. I mean, like, we've seen pillow fist guys like Laron Murphy get this close. Pillow fist guys like Drakkar Close get this close to knocking him out. Imagine if one of those canned hams that Jalen Turner has on the end of his wrist lands on Barbosa. I mean, shit. Sadiq Youssef, who didn't land one significant strike over 3 rounds against Myron Santos, had this guy dropped 3 different times in round 1 and on death's door. So, yeah, I think maybe Jalen Turner might be a good one because it's a better price.
Yeah,
but I think he's gonna knock this guy out, right?
Yeah. If Turner gives even half of a fuck, he should. He should. The question is, does he give at least half of a fuck?
I think even if he doesn't, he still starches this guy at this point. I mean, it's just old, man. He's old.
Yep. Or we'll do that because we won't give Mansur Abdul Malik, right? That'd be
It's too much.
too easy.
Minus
It's too easy.
1,000, you know?
Yeah. So the on-site piping of the week is Jalen Turner to pipe Edson Barbosa on site this Saturday. You heard it here first. Let's see. Yeah, I think Ewo could pipe 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Charlie liking Turner. Yeah, Duncan would be a risky one, a very risky one. And you got somebody pretty upset with you, Weezy. Bob's upset. He says, Weezy, I like your work, but it's not pronounced champagne, and your reasoning behind pronouncing it is absurd.
And it's Cowboy Bob Orton, my favorite wrestler, Brady. How many times have I referenced the great Cowboy Bob Orton? And then this guy has the audacity, the temerity, the nerve to come into the live chat on Stat Diggers and correct my pronunciation of the word champagne. Are you fucking kidding me? Cowboy Bob Orton, get some help. There is no way that I am wrong on that one. Oh my God, dude. The only way you could get me to pronounce it champion is if you were to pull a foreign object out of the cast that you constantly wore in the cage while the referee was knocked out somewhere, and then you started using that in my forehead. The only way that you can make me actually pronounce it champion. No chance. Cowboy Bob Orton. Busting my balls, Brady.
Get some help.
Unbelievable,
man. It is. You know, we give him so much credit. We bring him up every so often, and he does this. It's
one of the greatest cheaters in the history of professional wrestling was Cowboy Bob Orton. He wore a cast on his arm for like 8 straight years, and he was always pulling shit out of the cast to cheat.
Dude, I wonder if Naimov's going to do that this weekend. Just mob and Naimov with a big ass cast. I could see it, dude.
And the announcers are going to be like, how are they letting him wear that cast? He was cleared to fight yesterday, you know?
Oh, God. Turner
first round gets knocked out. He's pulling the foreign object.
Oh, goodness. So what does pipe mean? So, for example... Who was the piping last? Oh, yeah, the piping last week was my titty back oral boy to pipe Jack Hermanson on site. I mean, if you want to know what piping means, well, there you have it. We're looking for a brutal finish. We're looking for a finish. We're looking for a brutal one. And yeah, we've seen some brutal finishes, some brutal pipings in the past couple months. Yeah, basically a KO.
Yeah,
brutal, preferably. Yeah, Turner hits way too hard for Edson to handle, I think, even if it turns into a standing TKO. Yeah, I mean, Jakar Close was very close to standing TKOing him. Like a couple more punches, the fight was over. Edson was out, but he clinched up for some reason. Yeah. Earl Murphy is really good. Yes, he is. He's good.
Yeah.
Van piping Pantoja. We'll see, man.
That'd be something.
Champagne. Cowboy Orton was great. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I don't question Weezy, man. Just don't do it. Don't do it. Edson will have 2 droopy eyes after this. Yeah, what's been up with Edson's eye these last couple fights?
The guy's in a cage getting his ass beat for a living. You know what I mean? Like eventually your body just starts rebelling against you.
He looks like Popeye. Like the one eye is just completely shut. I'm surprised they're letting him fight, to be honest. Yeah, Turner's going to pipe him up, man.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, all right. So now it is time for everybody's favorite, and it is going to be the milking. Last week we had Arman Sarukian to milk Dan Hooker, and it worked out perfectly. This week, man, we have a lot of great options. Typically, we don't have a ton of options for milkings, but for milkings, we can go with Merab Dvalishvili.
Yeah.
Merab Dvalishvili, I mean, that's what he does. He milks you. Alexander Pantoja.
Yeah.
That's what he does. He milks you. I think we could see like a Peyton Talbot milking, on the feet, just picking apart Cejudo, milking him down throughout the fight. Grant Dawson.
Yeah.
He milks you.
Yeah.
I think there's 4 really solid options there. Merab Dvalishvili, Peyton Talbot, Alexander Pantoja, or Grant Dawson. 4 phenomenal options. I mean, it's hard to pick one out of those 4.
Agreed, but I'm going to go with Dawson just because, I mean, it's what he does.
I like it.
And because Torres, I mean, obviously that, if you're going to bet on Dawson this week, you just have to get it through your head that you might look like a fucking asshole. But if it does cash, you're going to be laughing the second he gets that first takedown and starts advancing, you're going to be like, it's over. I won this bet. This is easy money. So I feel like Dawson's going to milk this dude.
I like it. I mean, I just feel like the more I thought about the fight, the more it's like, I mean, the win condition of Torres is literally like a 60-second knockout.
Yeah.
And I mean, it could happen, but like you said, once that first takedown happens, I think it's just going to get very bad very quickly for Torres. Because even like the Camacho, I remember the Camacho fight, like Torres was like huffing and puffing a couple minutes in.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah, he was looking tired. Like, I remember I had Torres there. And I'm like, dude, he's tired already 2 minutes into the fight. I mean, if Dawson takes him down, I mean, Dawson's going to milk him. So I like both those. You know, they both do have a little bit of danger to them. Like Turner did just retire and is a little untrustworthy, and Dawson, maybe the chin's not great, and Torres is very loco. But I think both these have really good chances of looking pretty good this Saturday. I think they're either going to look really good or really bad, but I'm hoping really good this Saturday. Milking means sub. Yeah, it could be a sub, could be a TKO.
Dominant, suffocating grappling performance is usually what we mean by milking.
Yeah, in rare instances, it could be standing. Like I think one of the first ever milkings was Carlos Leal to milk Alex Morono, and he kind of drained him with his strike. Like you can drain him with your striking. Like that's why I was thinking maybe Talbot could like drain Cejudo, like beat him up and maybe finish him late, like something like that. But yeah, typically it's taking him down, grinding on him, milking him, and then getting that late finish. Prolonged suffering. Yeah, prolonged suffering is a great way to put it. Absolutely. Dawson would be an asshole if he doesn't sub. He could TKO. I mean, his ground and pound's coming along.
Yeah, it is.
Dawson's an elite milker. That's all he does, man. Prolonged suffering like Dan Hooker got. Yeah. Milks him throughout the fight. Absolutely. Who we got? We got Torres Finney, fan of the show. We got
here. Speaking of somebody that milks his opponents with a dominant, suffocating grappling performance, that's the real Torres Finney. And can you smell what this young man is cooking, Brady?
Yeah, didn't he say that in an interview?
That's what he says when he wins, man. It's pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah, a lot of people hate Torres Finney. I like the guy. I like his style. I didn't like his fight against Valentine. I didn't like that, but typically I do like me some Torres Finney. But yeah, we did it. Went through all the fights, the piping, the milking, the parlay, hoping to have another 3 for 3 there. And yeah, I got most of my content out already. I did my full card breakdown and prediction video. I'm going to be doing a special piece of content tomorrow. Be on the lookout for that. I'm going to be getting up my DraftKings video nice and early, my betting breakdown video nice and early. I'm heading to Vegas early Friday morning, so I want to get everything out, everything done, so I can focus on having fun in Vegas. going to Vegas, having some fun. Gambling, just some blackjack, maybe hitting the strip club, maybe, picking up one of those cards on the side of the street with the hookers. You get the two hookers for $99. Then they show up and it's a scam. It's like, it's not $99. They show up and they're like, it's $99 for us to show up. We're showing up for $99. If you want shit done, you got to pay us, man.
Yeah.
So I might pick up a couple of those cards. Looking forward to it, man. Looking forward to it. So yeah, do me a favor. If you guys can subscribe, I'm like 115 subscribers away. Would mean a lot to get 30K by Christmas time. I only want 2 things for Christmas. I either want 30,000 subscribers or a 1-of-1 Irina Alexeyeva walkout jacket. It's $60. It's on sale. Somebody hook me up for the love of God. But Wheezy, let the people know if you got anything special going on or also where they can find you and support you.
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube at Uncle Wheezy. You can find me on Twitter at MMA Wheezy. And you can find me in my probability stats and content package on oddshopper.com. $25 a month gets you access to my matchup stats, which you see on the screen, individual fighter stats, over, under, and prop betting models. 2 shows that I do for subscribers only every week, a full card breakdown show called Balls Deep Breakdowns, a prop betting show, plus EV prop betting show called Probability. You get access to all my track bets, access to my fight write-ups, which you heard me read the summaries of a couple of them today. So if you want access to all that information, find me on oddshopper.com. That's the best way to support my work. And let's get Brady to 30,000 subscribers, man. That's an amazing achievement. You look at a lot of the people that have been around the space for a long time, they don't even have 1/6 of that. And Brady's been, one of the most consistent content creators here doing UFC content for the last 5 or 6 years on YouTube. So congratulations on getting that incredible milestone, Brady.
Thanks, man. I wonder if I get to 50K one day. That'd be cool.
It'd be unbelievable.
It'd be pretty cool. Maybe when I'm like in maybe a couple of years, that'd be awesome. But yeah, man, looking forward to this card. I mean, a lot of spots sticking out. It's gonna be fun. Some fun fights. I'm definitely looking forward to it. Want to end the year very strong with these next 2 cards. Snorris, Finney. Oh, come on. Finney, you gonna throw some strikes your next fight? That's true. He literally threw no strikes. It was actually quite crazy. I'm sure your girlfriend can treat the STDs, Brady. Well, you want to make sure you condom up with some of these hookers. I mean, some of these hookers are nasty, man.
We're gamblers, but we're not that big of gamblers,
Absolutely not. I mean, some of the sick sicknesses you can get, some sick diseases you can get. You want to absolutely cover up. Fight in Australia at UFC 220. Look, we got breaking news here from Torres Finney himself. He's fighting in Australia in UFC 325.
Very interesting. So the middleweight's going to be getting somebody from Australia at 325. Who do you think? A middleweight Australian, maybe Jonathan McHale? No, McHale's a welterweight.
Yeah, I don't know. Off the top of my head,
I'm thinking Crute, but Crute's a 205er.
Yeah.
Australian middleweight. I'm coming up with nothing.
Is Blood Diamond
Asian middleweight?
Blood Diamond's not a middleweight, is he? Blood Diamond?
No, he's a welterweight. And I think he got cut.
Bring him back. Let us know, Torres. Let us know. Let's break the news, man.
Looking forward to that. That's a long trip to Australia, and they're going to take half your money, Torres.
Mm-hmm.
But, hopefully you get a win.
Oh, Cam Ralston. Wait, didn't they already fought? They fought in the Contender Series.
Yeah, that's right.
And Finney beat the crap out of him.
You don't think Cam wants a rematch, right?
Didn't Torres like 30-27 him, I think.
Yeah, dude. I don't think that'd be a good fight for Cam. I don't know about that.
That's stupid. That's dumb. I mean, Ralston does look like he's improved, but still. Appreciate you, Bun Kooks. Best of luck to you this Saturday. Hey, guys, it's your friend William Robbins. I just planted 56 potato plants in KFC buckets. There you go, William.
Nice.
Plant those plants. All right. All right, guys, we did it. Best of luck, everybody, for UFC 323. We will talk to you soon and see you later. Peace.